Good evening, welcome to Encounter Roleplay, where we are comparing injuries. How you're doing? It's quite spicy in the green room this evening. We've been talking about Trek, Orville, all sorts of crazy cool stuff. But anyway, we're here to talk today about Achtung, Cthulhu, the World War II with the tentacles. And we're here every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. GMT until the war is over. You can catch us on YouTube afterwards. We'll post videos of us sometimes. Of us like kicking Nazis in the gooch and stuff. I am Sam of Modifius Entertainment, and I am here. I am your GM for this evening, and we have some lovely people who may or may not be injured. Chair, who are you, and where can we find you on the internet?
In the gooch. Sorry, that's just a funny word. You blindsided me with that one there, Sam. I am doing great. I'm Pruitt, of course, from WebDM. I look forward to getting back into the action tonight, where we were in Rome and we're about to kidnap cops. Because when you're the good guys, you're the ones that are kidnapping the cops. And never forget that, kids. So I will be, of course, reprising my role as Captain W.C. Ward, the American, the lone American in this group, who is ready to kick ass and chew bubblegum. And I have plenty of bubblegum, by the way. So if the whole class would like some, that's great.
Oh, thanks, man. I will then hand over to my other fellow Modifian, Tabletop Horde, otherwise known as Virginia. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing all right. You know,
Good.
Apart from the whole injuries thing that we were just talking about, but
More injuries.
I'm great at just giving myself impossible injuries. But no,
Nice.
everything's good. I'm excited to get back into this and, like, you know, ambush some cops and then do some weird, freaky scrying stuff and getting ourselves into more disaster.
Sure. Awesome sauce. We're joined by Susanna Grace. Hello, how are you?
Buenas tardes. I'm good, thank you. That is about...
Ciao?
Ciao.
We're in Italy, right?
Yeah. That's about all the Italian I know. But hey, I'm Susie. I'm playing Elsie Braithwaite, who is the Northern Lass Grease Monkey. I'm excited to kidnap some fascist police officers, maybe do a little bit of punching, roughing up, and seeing what Rome has to offer for us.
Death. Nothing but death.
Sick. I'm in.
Cool. Shauna, hello, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Shauna playing Sophia, the one of the two academics, and I'm hoping that this all goes smoothly getting these secret police, because we all have a huge arsenal of weapons. If things go bad, it'll go bad for them.
Oh, do you know, I don't even know what threat I'm on.
0.
4? 7. I've got a 7 here on one of the
Okay,
tallies.
7. Okay. All right.
Are you sure
We'll
it's not
start
a funny one?
It's got a little line through it because I'm
dang
strictly
it.
German.
Damn it.
I know, one of those people.
I do that too.
You and your meticulous lettering and numbering.
I know, it's terrible. We are not joined this week by the Rollies podcast. Callum is not with us, I'm afraid, but he will be back with us when we are back. I am not here next week, so there may be a thing happening, there may not be a thing happening. If there is a thing happening, then Callum will be here and I won't be. After that week, then we should all be back together trying to defy the Nazi occult regime. Speaking of which, let's dive straight into tonight's episode with definitely 7 threat. Okie dokie. To recap. Will is currently rolling in his duvet, I suppose, because I'm supposed to be talking about sponsorship. So let's talk about sponsorship. Today we are using Fantasy Grounds. It is a virtual tabletop and you can use it for all of your virtual tabletopping needs. You go to fantasygrounds.com, get an account, or you can go via Steam and download that from Steam and you can use it and it is great. If you go to waylandgames.co.uk, they have 20% off 40k in all sorts of Warhammer miniatures, as well as other discounts on many other RPG lines, including Modifius products. And diceenvy.com is our dice sponsor for this evening. They have a dangerous subscription service where for as little as $5 a month, you can get yourselves some dice mailed to you every single month. They've got limited runs and they've got some awesome dice. Anyway, it sounds awesome. There is a live tweet going on around the Twitters about this stream. Please retweet it. We'd be very, very appreciative if you did. that would really help us. If we get 20 retweets, then a thing may happen. I'm still unclear whether there is a contest. You can donate bits, or you can just donate straight up monies to us as well to give our lovely people some natural successes, which is a 1, or some complications, which are a 20, because 1's good and 10 movies are terrible. So remember that. We don't seem to get many of them, so they will be cool because sometimes they need them. Otherwise, you can obviously donate 760 bits for a Mythos magical surge. I'll take the Mythos, not the Mythos, I'll take the kind of magic generation table thingy, and I will make it some kind of weird Mythos-y shit that no one can explain, like I did last week, and it was awesome. Otherwise, you can donate all sorts of cool stuff, from equipment to more spoopy monsters to vehicles, and for £300, Cthulhu will turn up. Someone better do that, because I keep saying it, and I really want it to happen. Yeah, why not? Cool. All right, I'm going to burp. And then we're going to start. All right. So, last time on Achtung, Cthulhu Shadows of Atlantis. Returning home from Vienna, the investigators find themselves in the presence of Section D's commanding officer, Major Grand. On debriefing the Major, he has no other alternative but to take up Alec's offer to fund a counter-esoteric organization which he names Section M. Researching the Dr. Ehrlichman's journal, the group discover his translations of the Black Stone, which lead them to read about his hypotheses of an ancient machine, broken up into 5 pieces, which he names the Palladium. With hints at the Nazi occult forces seeking these out as well, Section M has no other choice but to ask its newest recruits to head out onto the continent once more, even though war has just broken out. Elsie flies everybody to Rome, where George encounters another strange telekinetic attack by a blonde woman in an unseasonably thick coat before she disappears. Trying to make contact with the Section D outfit in the area, disguised as a stationer's and art supply shop, the shop has been ransacked by OVRA agents, the Italian anti-socialist secret police. Without any leads, the group plan on scrying for their missing agent using one of the OVRA agent's belongings. So we start tonight's session in media res. You are in the street just outside this stationer's shop. It's called Carlivaro's. Carlivaro's sign's been like smashed up. This white paint is scoured over it. French, jeez. There's Italian graffiti all over it. As you guys, I don't think anybody speaks Italian particularly. Maybe someone picked up a couple of swear words, because there is definitely a couple in there somewhere. As you've had a little look inside, particularly Sophia, as she did a pass down the street just to kind of get a lay of the land, she noticed that inside it's been smashed up. There's genuine like stock art supplies and stuff has been thrown onto the floor, tables overturned, windows on the outside have been smashed as well. The door's been nailed shut, and everything's off inside. So we are, I believe, kind of midday, roughly speaking, because I think you guys just kind of started off as soon as you could. So we're in the day. The street is fairly busy with shoppers. The shop itself has been cordoned off. People are going by their daily business on the street. There are a couple of OVRA agents that you have spotted thanks to their very conspicuous look of those kind of what they consider to be American private detectives, with the brown overcoat and someone's wearing some spats and they've got the fedoras on. They're very stylish to be Italian detectives, even though they're meant to be secret police. So these guys, you noticed, Sophia, have been looking over the shop. Your plan, guys, was to take however way you can, like a personal belonging for one of the people, one of the agents there, so that you can scry with it, is my impression of the situation. Please tell me if I'm wrong.
No, I think that
sounds
was the
about
plan.
right.
However, There is a spanner in the works, as I believe we were going to run a pretty lady's interference while Georges did some pickpocketing. However, we have no Georges today.
We can use George for this one role if you like. I will roll for George.
Yeah.
Just need to get the character sheets up on our Google Drive. That's cool. So it was Lady Interference, and with George actually rolling for this stealth kind of thing, wasn't it? Because he was grabbing the doodad. All right. How do you guys want to set this up? I need some specifics.
I think that any of us who aren't directly involved in this should either set up somewhere that we can keep an eye, but be at a safe distance. Because if Azzy and Georges get made, at least we're not all stuck together and we can reconvene somewhere else.
Yeah, most definitely. But we have a rendezvous spot in case it all goes bad, so we can all split up and then meet back somewhere. Definitely.
Cool. Not a problem. Who is running interference then, and what's the idea there?
I think the plan was either me or Constance go up and ask for a light for a cigarette, to try and distract the guy, while Georges slip past and boop, oops, sorry, mate, and play a little flute.
Whatever that was. Was that your phone?
That's mine. Alert.
Oh, right, okay, cool. It sounded like someone's alert or something. Cool, that's fine. All right.
Somebody playing Ocarina of Time over there?
We're going to try and get the OVR agent to complete the Ocarina of Time for us so that we can steal his stuff.
Good luck.
So I'm gonna steal a bit from very cool game and from a lot of the kind of tropes of this kind of pulpy fiction. So as you described that to me, I'm going to get you to make the roll. So if this goes wrong, then because it's a montage, we can kind of add stuff in and do some cool stuff to see if we can mitigate the damage. But I would like you to roll for me. This is going to be, I think, is there a deception? There's persuasion. I'll have that as a skill. And I would say will.
Oh, cool. Am I the one doing this?
So you and Shauna are running the interference, right? Like, is the two of you?
Oh, there's
It was Constance.
Constance.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I think
Gotcha.
Sophia and Ward are. We think we're just kind of like keeping an eye, like point. Right.
You're observing. That's cool. That's cool. So
we could both do it, right? So Elsie and Constance were like just two ladies walking down the street, and we spot a handsome police officer that might be able to give us a cigarette light.
Someone's going to assist, and someone's going to lead the test.
Yeah. So here's the thing: my will score is not fantastic. So if you want to take the lead on this one, I'm totally cool with that.
God, it's not on your sheet, right?
I do also speak Latin, which is, I think, the closest between the two of us to someone who can speak Italian, right?
Yeah, right. So you should have the speaking role.
What a stretch.
I can try that. Actually, I'm wondering, can I spend one of my fortune points, Sam, for this? And can I say that Georges speaks Italian, right?
Yeah, he'd tell
he's
you
got
what
the
to say.
polyglot thing, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, he
No, he
doesn't.
doesn't.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh.
He speaks almost every other romantic language except Italian.
In that case, could I use the make it happen fortune points then, and have it as a truth that I know how to ask for a cigarette light in this?
Yes.
I know just enough just to ask for that.
You know, a traveler's Italian. You can ask for a
So this was
restaurant
gonna be-
in the bathroom. Yeah.
You know, like the British military used to hand out like pamphlets on getting by in places. That's everybody smoked back then, so it's not an uncommon thing to be like, got a light,
All right.
Yeah.
I will let you.
He hands one of those to me, and I'm like, "Where is it? Where is it?"
Don't show it to the guy.
No.
Okay. So, all right. So I was going to make it difficulty 4, maybe 3. I was thinking about that. With the fortune spend, you've essentially given yourself a truth that you can get by on this little bit of conversation. So it's going to be difficulty 2. But you don't know much Italian. So if the guy gets into conversation with you, or the situation develops based on the roll, it can get quite complicated. So the complication range is going to increase. If you roll a 17, if you roll an 18, 19, or a 20 on this roll, then you are going to get a complication.
It's going to be fun.
All right. Sure.
Okay.
So, Constance, you roll for me 2d20 and pick some momentum or threat for buying some more dice. Elsie, you're going to assist with 1 d20.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want me to roll, Sam? Persuasion?
Yeah, persuasion, because deception is the focus in that, and will.
Okay, that's not too bad. That's
You're not
13.
terrible at that.
No, I'm not. I'm not terrible at that. I'm terrible at a lot, but not quite that. Should I spend some threat?
How much? We're at 7, right?
We're at 7 at the moment.
7 at the moment. And does anyone remember how much momentum we have? Because I don't have it written.
0.
I mean,
I think it was like
I honestly,
1 or 2.
I think we
it
have
was
some at the end.
it was 3 or below, definitely. It wasn't above 3 for
All right.
sure.
Right, if you can't remember, I'm going to give you 1 momentum to start the scene with.
Okay, I will
Okay,
I think
buy.
that's fair.
I'll buy 2 more dice, so I'll spend 1 momentum and then 2 threat,
2 threats. We're at 9, 0.
and I'll roll 4 dice and see how wrong this goes. Oh no. 2 of those are successes.
Cool.
Huh?
And Elsie, that's another success.
It's a success, yeah.
So, all right. So you pass the test, and you get 1 momentum. You ask the Italian agent for a light. He pats down his pockets, picks out a lighter, lights the cigarette that you've got out in front of you for you. What do you want to do next?
I imagine this is the bit where George, like in the process of lighting, and is where George does his bump into. I imagine that he was like following behind us, and we stopped, and he does that thing where he's not paid attention and like bumps into us.
Sure.
But
I am going to roll for him. Thank you, Prue. Give him bedroom eyes. Yes. This is going to be coordination of 9 and a stealth of 4. Do you want him to buy any more dice? This is going to be difficulty. Actually, hang on. I won't just roll just there. That didn't work. So let me check these guys, because they have genuine stats. I didn't just write this on a scrap of paper today.
So it's just 4 random words written on a piece of paper.
Sexy goblins? Question mark.
You're looking at my
Goblins should
D&D
always
notes
be
again.
sexy.
Always sexy. I am going to make this a... Oh, I'll just use that as a passive. I'm going to make it a contested roll, okay? You guys can see George's character sheet, right? On the character sheet. So I would like somebody else to roll for George here, because I'm going to roll for the OVRA agent.
should we buy some extra dice?
I'm going to be rolling insight and observation. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to essentially create a difficulty.
Yeah.
So I'll roll first, and then you guys can see how difficult it is, and then you can see if you can beat that with the dice roll you've got.
So,
I am going to buy him an extra die, so I'm going to go then over to beat threat and roll 3.
and what's the roll for George again?
This is going to be stealth and coordination for George.
So it's a
check my
13.
dice.
Would urban stealth work on that as a?
Can someone check for me if I believe there is a focus for like a kind of sleight of hand or something like that? Maybe. Let me double check.
Let's see.
I've not been working with these just now at work, so
He has urban stealth is the only one on his.
yeah, he only has urban stealth. I'm not sure in all honesty. if that would really apply. Oh, there's disguise, camouflage, urban stealth, and rural stealth. You are in an urban setting. Yeah, sure, I'll let it apply. Only because I did get a crit success on one of those dice I rolled. So that is 2, 3, 4 successes for me. So you're looking at difficulty 4. This guy, as you pull the lighter, as he pulls the lighter and he lights a cigarette, Constance, you see him, as you're lighting, immediately check just around him. He is very acutely aware of the possibility of what's going on, only because these guys are the fucking secret police.
Mm-hmm.
They are observative and they are prepared.
I think we should definitely buy some.
I George some dice.
This is gonna look really bad if we don't do this.
Yeah. I
This
mean,
is like our first thing, right?
Buy all
I'm
of the
imagining,
dice.
I'm imagining somebody like giving George these kind of like dagger eyes just for a second to be like, fucking watch out, mate.
So if Ward were to use, if I were to use Ward's ability as a born leader, can I give George a fortune point to use on this roll?
By spending one of yours, absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Cool.
Because I figured he probably wouldn't let us spend one of his when he's not here. So I'm gonna we're gonna do that. So we're normally rolling 2. We have 1 momentum. Yes.
Mhm.
So we can buy
we have
one
0.
die
We don't have any left.
Scrolling up. Yeah, sorry. V spent it.
Sorry.
on what?
My roll.
I know, but
She won
we got-
4
you-
dice.
I know, but we needed 2 successes, and Constance got 2, and Elsie got 1, so we should have 1 momentum back, right?
You are right,
okay.
sir.
Yep.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
trying to keep track in our little
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Instagram
no worries.
chat.
So we're rolling 2. If we spend 1 momentum, we can get 3. We need a 13 or less, and I mean a crit is 4. So I'm thinking I'm going to spend a fortune point to make one of those a 2 successes.
Already a 1. Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Rolling 2 dice, and we need 2 successes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. I kind of like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's let this die.
Fuck.
Oh.
Oh,
no.
So we're at 3 successes total.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ward starts reaching for his gun.
I mean, instinctively, you do.
Yeah.
Okay, I will let you guys succeed at cost. So that means that you can grab the lighter if you want, but you will be made immediately. It just means you've got to lose the guys.
I mean, I can make that happen.
Or they can lose something.
Sophia's like, screw you guys up. I'm out. He's sick of
The
something.
constant's just like, nuclear option. It's the only way.
Let's show them the void of eternity.
Yes.
I mean, you know, we don't have to melt the brains of every bad guy we come across.
I can melt the brains.
It is-
I can make them a bit.
Are you devil's advocating for fascists right now?
Whoa!
Just saying.
Real
They are
spicy in here tonight.
They are the fascist police. I'm just saying.
They actually, literally are.
They literally are. This figurative.
Oh,
Imagine. I mean,
Constance, do you want this lighter or not?
I do.
You've got a second. You grab that lighter. You actually just go straight past the guy, grabbing George by one arm just as you turn Captain Ward.
Sophia, I'm gonna grab Sophia's hand, pull my gun out of the holster, and just shoot into the wall, and then make a break for it.
Oh.
I am literally just.
So like,
I'm literally just shooting my gun in order to make a big loud bang, just to make them like look away. I'm trying to give them a moment to get away. Since we're like across the street, you know, strolling like a couple or whatever, like I'm just gonna try to give them a second to get away, and then we can hopefully lose these guys.
cool. I would like you to make me a difficulty 2 coordination and fighting check. If you've got handgun focus, it applies just to get the perfect like ricochet, and it's about the sound. You're trying to reverberate, like throw the sound almost, like the shot's coming from over there or something. You need to hit the ground and the wall in just the right way. So you make me that difficulty 2 roll.
Already.
You're looking for 15s and crit on 5s, man. You got this.
Yeah, and my first die is always free, so I'm gonna roll 3 dice.
All right.
As I am going to take the aim action, if you'll allow it, to kind of just like spot the right.
This is far too quick. You've just got a second to just pop this out and shoot.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to spend a fate point.
All right.
So there you go. Roll my other die. So that's 3 successes.
Cool. So 1 more momentum there, which I believe brings you back onto 1 after all that spending, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sure.
Cool. There was a lot going on. Keep count, V. Right. So you get that 1 momentum. So you essentially you've established a truth for yourself. Getting away will be easier for the whole group now. You can. I'll let you improve that truth with that 1 momentum if you want to spend it and just get the perfect. Like imagine the ricochet has gone off and it actually whips past the ear of the other OVR agent, like in the right at the far side of the street. If you want to spend that 1 momentum, I'll let that happen.
Yes.
So for a bit of a cool narrative, and it provides a bit more to the truth. So you shoot, you actually manage to ricochet off the wall, and it whips past the OVR agent on the other side. He pulls his revolver as he spins round. The other OVR agent is actually ducking, pulling his revolver out as you guys just like flee. You just gone. I would like you guys to roll for me. Ward is leading this because he's kind of, I think, more or less instigated the proper we're off, and the ladies, I want you to assist with 1d20 each. I'm going to roll first because of their we're going to roll their observation, basically. I am going to we're on threat, 8 threat. I'm going to buy another die, brings me down to 7.
Oh,
that is 4 successes. So you're collectively rolling 5 dice here to start with.
Okay. And what are we rolling here? Coordination.
I would call this agility.
Agility.
And I'm gonna take skill suggestions based on what you're doing. Or how you're using your skills.
Only because it's completely self-serving and I have the focus in it. I would say tactics, because this is a tactic that we set out from the start if the shit goes crazy.
Sure.
And because I have the leadership focus, I mean, I'm making the call here to be like, we got to get out of here. And so, what do you think?
Roger that, Captain. You're in charge. That tactics is good.
Sweet.
Constance,
So
what are you
agility
using? Agility and tactics. Constance, agility and...
Can I use agility and observation? Because I have a sight focus, so I'm literally looking for what looks like the best, like in that split second, the best route down an alley, someone that looks like it's going to lead us away and is like the least obvious that someone would want to run down.
Yep, happy with that.
Cool.
Susie?
Could I argue for agility survival for very similar reasons as Constance, but I'm looking for where there's people, so I could lose a crowd. So I'm looking for tracks of humans, as it were.
Survival's fine with me. You are trying to survive. That's fine.
Yeah.
Shauna, what about you?
Can I use can I use instinct on this? Just because it's snapping. Like I'm relying on just like the training.
Yep, absolutely. That all sounds awesome. You've got your combinations, guys. So, Prue, if you roll for me right now, do you want to add any dice before we start?
What? We have no momentum, correct?
Yeah.
That's correct.
You're on 7 threat. I will buy 1 dice because we're rolling 5. We need 4. I have a decent spread. So yeah.
Cool. No worries. That's 8 threat.
Oh Jesus God.
Boom.
So that's technically 3 successes for me because I have 3 in tactics and I have that focus.
Perfect.
So that 3 counts as 2. So that's 3 successes for me.
And then I want the assist dice to roll, please.
Nope.
Not from Elsie, not from Sophia. This has got to count, V.
Crit.
Fuck.
Does that a 12 do it? No.
No. 10.
Why did we all wear high heels?
Yeah.
Does anybody have a fortune they'd like to?
Re-rolls.
I mean, my target
50,
number's like
50
9.
chance.
My target
It's a
number's
10 for me.
10.
10.
We're so bad at this.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh,
I can
no.
try and re-roll because I still got fortune.
I still have
Okay.
some as well.
All right, Sam. I'm gonna use my last fortune point
No.
All right.
to re-roll the 19 because I think I have
Cool.
the best chance of doing
Yeah.
this.
I love.
There we go.
We are not dying
Oh
today.
my god.
See.
Ooh.
Well done,
Anyway.
sir. Well done.
So yeah,
Good
we
job.
I grabbed Sophia by the hand, I fired the shot off, and then I let out the most like the most surprised whatever, and we ducked down an alley.
You duck down an alley and you are running past like washing lines and down the back alleys of inner city Rome. You're darting left, darting right, getting onto a main road again. There's an OVR agent coming from your left. You run across the road, stopping cars in your way. You skip over a fence, manage to get someone gets like a skirt caught in the top of the fencing for a little bit and just has to rip the bit of the skirt at the bottom, runs through this like little garden with like a little fountain. Birds flap up from the garden and the OVR agents are like, and they run towards the garden. They're not 20 feet behind you guys when you guys get to a dead end. There's nothing around you except there's a little flap in the fence, and Tetley goes right through. And Ward looks at everybody. This is the only way, guys. And thankfully, it's a wooden fence. So as he goes first, he just crushes that dog flap and just breaks through, so everyone can just scramble through.
It is one of my truths. Everything's bigger in Texas.
Yeah, there you
built
go,
like a
right?
brick shit house. So
Yeah. So the ladies can all like scooch through, get up, dust themselves off, and you guys run through this like more expansive like parkland in between these tenements. You hear on the other side very distant swearing and such. So you don't. Yeah, you hear a lot of this. But thankfully the voices don't come any closer, and after ducking behind a hedge and then trying to nonchalantly walk away from this like park and through the lower floor of the tenement out into the street again, just catching your breath, you wait suspiciously, and finally you are not being followed, and you have a lighter in hand. What would you like to do next?
I think that we need to find somewhere that I can start setting up for this ritual. The quicker we do this, the better.
Mm-hmm.
How much space do you need for this?
Not massively, enough to draw a circle that all of us can fit in. Somewhere that I can put down my stuff, preferably where we're not going to be disturbed and it's quiet. I don't
So-
think, aside from the fact that we've just mugged 2 secret police, I don't think Rome is very open to some of the more esoteric goings on.
Well, I mean, do we just want to go back to the hotel, or?
There is no hotel in Rome. You guys have not been set up. Remember, the contact, the safe house, was this shop that's been ransacked.
Right. Okay.
So, we need to find somewhere to stay, but we look like street rats.
Yes. You look like
Well,
definitely
I mean,
you don't
Elsie,
belong.
speak for yourself, but I
That-
mean,
If there's more,
Them's in chat, by the way, guys.
I know, yeah.
It's just in there.
we could always look to see if there's any more of those kind of abandoned buildings, because they're going to have shut down more than just because I suspected them of being Section D, right? Anyone who spoke out against their regime,
Mm-hmm.
if we can get into one of those, no one should disturb us, and I can't imagine that they're watching all of them. I imagine that they were watching that one because of who they thought was there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's already a
Yeah,
safe house. Yeah, sounds like a plan on the quick.
Do you want to do this quickly, or do you just want to find somewhere?
Or maybe one of us goes to look. Who can slip around and get into places?
Callum.
George.
we
Where did George go?
by the way, did
You've
George
lost,
meet up?
you've lost George. You've lost
Oh,
George
yeah.
in the.
Oh, we've
in the
lost
panic.
him. Oh no.
Yeah, in the panic he has scarpered. He's gone.
I mean, worst comes to worst, I can scry on him as well. I'm sure George is
Yeah.
fine.
To take care of himself.
Yeah.
He's
Iberi is a strong
He'll be
lad.
fine. Well, I mean, we can just have a look-see around, see what we can turn up. You know, we're just talking about strolling through the streets, but probably don't need to do it too long because they might still be out looking. Might notice one of you two. Perhaps we should find something to change our appearance,
Yeah, maybe.
if possible.
If it comes to it, I can, like, Constance has probably got, like, an over... Because, you know, ladies wore jackets and stuff. I can just shed that. So,
change.
Yeah,
Change
you
of
can
clothes.
exchange jackets.
Yeah.
she'll tie her hair back as well.
Steal a fedora from a sleeping man.
Just raid a washing line. Sam said we ran past loads of washing lines. I mean, we
Yeah.
probably stole some poor Italian family's
Mm-hmm.
clothes, but hey, we won't die, so
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm an altruist, you see.
There you go. Yeah, you guys can grab a handful of accessories, clothes, just something to make yourselves look a little bit different. You're a couple of kind of blocks north of the Trevi Fountain. You're on a main street, and this street doesn't seem to have any of those, particularly those abandoned buildings or boarded up premises because of what's been going on. There's a little bit of road construction down one end of the road. As you notice around as well that there seems to have been a fair bit of improvement going on in Rome, actual infrastructure improvement. Around the work on the road, there are actually police as well. So it's very well policed. They seem to be fairly on alert. Not on the lookout for you guys particularly. They actually glance at you and don't really give you a second look at this point. But they are conscious of being targeted. As I said, on this street, there isn't really anything of those kind of premises that you're looking for. Any particular idea of where you want to head or how far you want to head before you really find one of these places?
Is it worth
I mean, I
moving?
think-
Sorry,
Go
go
ahead.
on.
No.
No, I was going to say, is it worth going to maybe a poorer part of town where there's more likely to be closed up businesses that would have suffered recently and maybe didn't stay open shop? or empty housing?
Well, I was going to say a poor part of town, somewhere maybe near the river again. Maybe we can find an empty dock or a warehouse or something like that down there. But I think we should definitely kind of move away from this area because they're going to be casting a net out, searching for us. So
make sure.
So from here towards the river is further west. It's not far though. It's probably only about 20 minutes, half an hour walk. If you wanted to head to a poorer district, you probably want to be heading, not with any real knowledge of Rome, I should caveat, some kind of northeast in terms of location. Thank you, Lindy. Thank you for the raiding party of 9. That's pretty cool. Thank you. I dropped in and followed her today. That's awesome. She was playing Mouse Guard. It was great fun.
Lindy's the best.
She is.
The best. So you can head more towards the river, although that will strictly be a little bit, not poorer, probably a bit more touristy. Or you can head northeast, which is kind of further away from the center of Rome, and you can probably find more of the poorer areas that you're looking for.
We probably don't want to be where it's touristy, right? Because that's going to have open shops. Money's going to be flowing there. People are
going to be surveilling that area because it's a bunch of internet non-locals coming in.
Yeah, definitely. So let's head towards the poor part of town.
Okay, you walk for about 15 minutes until you hit what is noticeably a slightly more run-down district. Of the houses here, you do eventually notice one house particularly that has been boarded up. Not knowing again, unfortunately, much about Central Roman architecture, but let's say kind of like a terrace, so like kind of apartments that are enclosed either side. There is one that's been boarded up and has a similar kind of white painted graffiti on the front with like Italian profanities and slurs against socialism.
Are there any? Is there an alley between the houses that we could maybe go back, or is it just
you spend a few minutes? Yeah, you spend a few minutes actually kind of scouting the area a little bit, and behind the house, it takes a little bit to find. It's not like just one long alley like you get in like a lot of the kind of American apartments or tenant one of these kind of terraces, but there are little inlets to the kind of back gardens and stuff of this little block. So yeah, absolutely. You guys want to head through the back then, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure that nobody's watching.
You pick your moment. You make your way inside. Just Bigger in Texas pulls away one of the planks on the door. Managed to get round to the handle, and just more through brute force and ignorance than skill managed to jimmy open the back door. You guys, there's not really a vantage point on this where you're breaking into, so you guys have time and some leisure to just try and slowly and quietly get in on your own. The place has a very dusky smell, and the only light that comes in is through some of the gaps in the wooden boarding that's been put on the outside of the windows. There's a smell of something like dead animal, or just a kind of like putrid that just hangs in the air. And as you turn the corner into what would have been a family room, the carpet hasn't been removed but has been lifted up from the floor, the floorboards somewhat exposed. There's a hole where a couple of floorboards have been removed, as if it's a little safe space and someone's just like uprooted it. And there's you look in, and this rat jumps up and scurries away from looking down into it. And you're alone in this rather foreboding and desolate, homely space.
I think we should do this upstairs, because that way, if anyone comes in, hi, monk.
It's a giant rat!
Oh no! Oh no! Constance, how many Do you need everyone in this for the scrying? Okay.
Preferably, some of you might have some vision.
Okay.
So the more people, the more everyone kind of sees something different or picks up on different things. If possible, I'm just going to try and do it as close to the one that we did in that bookshop. It won't be the same, but I can try.
Okay.
So, I mean, rules is written here. The requirements here are the ritual tools that you have and blood sacrifice. So, I mean, I'm willing to let you decide what degree of blood sacrifice that is. What it will do is I'm actually going to do it so that the person who does this will get a little character truth for that's just temporary, that is just blood sacrifice. So they were the one to do it. It may make kind of like, you know, more survival or kind of brawn checks just a bit hard, just one level harder because you've had a bit of blood taken.
Constance will take that because one of my talents is a price to pay, so I understand that magic comes at a cost. So
Cool. Okay.
I think Castle Ward's also been a bit too scarred with blood sacrifice recently.
Sure. You draw some of your own blood from one of the knives of your ritual kit. How do you set up the rest of the ritual?
So I grab like one of the kind of, I imagine like tipped over small tables, set that up with the scrying mirror with a candle just off to the side so you can see it reflected. I start burning incense and I grab something in the house that I can use to make a circle, whatever's around. If there's some paint or anything that I can just draw it out on so people can see.
I think that was just me, but what were you making? Sorry, I didn't quite get that one.
Just drawing a circle around the area. Yeah. And I'm gonna get everyone standing within it, hands kind of clasped just like before, and kind of give it a good 5 minutes so that the air becomes kind of thick with that incensey smoke.
Who takes Constance's bloody hand?
If you will.
And Ward
stand together.
Yeah. Ward kind of gets in a way where Elsie will take her other hand to kind of be as far away from the caster as possible as he blushes and steps into the circle. But he doesn't talk about it and he doesn't make eye contact.
So what I imagine is that everyone's standing round, but Constance is kind of on her knees to be at table height, but holding her hands out. And she will like cut her hand, drip it over the flames and over the incense. So it's like kind of a metallic smell in the air before kind of she'll wipe her hand off first. She'll try and be a bit considerate and hold hands with the group and then stare at
that hiss as the blood hits the flame is startling in a house that is silent around you. The musk of the decomposing biological elements in this house, whatever they are, is covered over by an equally musky incense smell that's just a little bit more palatable. I would like you, therefore, to make me a will plus observation test, please. Difficulty 2. Cost is going to be 3 challenge dice, which you're going to halve, aren't you?
Yes, I have to pay 2 momentum to do that, but I probably will pay you some threat to half that.
Sure.
Constance isn't very hardy. Will my instincts or sight observation help out with this? Like focus help out with this at all?
Your instincts will apply.
Okay.
It's actually a nice little bit there because we don't actually have any, or this particular ritual I'm using doesn't have any focuses on it. So I think it's worth thinking about that when we actually get the final draft ready.
Okay.
Give myself a note.
Actually, Constance isn't going to half the cost because I'd rather spend that threat on some more dice so that we get this right. So if I pay you 3 threats and I will roll 4 dice because we need some momentum anyway, right?
Sure.
And I will roll. So my target is 13.
Give me 3 threat there.
3 threat, yeah.
Cool. That's 11 now total for me.
Does everyone else count as assisting?
They can assist you on this, yeah. This is will plus observation with an instinct focus, guys.
Okay.
So,
1. Oh.
there are 3 successes there.
Mm-hmm.
It's will and what, sorry?
Observation with an instinct focus.
Okay. Yes. And that is a crit.
I failed.
Same.
Okay. So 2
5.
more successes are added to you. Yeah, so 5 total. That gives you 3 momentum. If you want to pop that in the Fantasy Grounds chat for me.
And I'll roll for my cost as well, which is 3 challenge dice, right?
Yep.
That's only 2 points of stress. It's okay.
That's not too bad.
It didn't hurt too bad.
And now if you can roll your power in challenge dice for me.
Yep, which is 6. I'm just going to roll 2 lots of 3 because I don't think I've got a 6th one set up. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with 2 effects. I don't know if they do anything.
Not as yet, but 5
Yeah.
will give you 1 of the steps are complete. I need my thing. You see, you think for a second that you're still in this house. Except now it's darker. The musk remains, but it's darker, and you get that sense of slight out-of-bodiness. And then you put yourself, this is everybody now, and you lie down on a very hard pillow, trying to go to sleep. And then tears are running down your face, you're hysterical. And then you're digging in a stone labyrinth, digging away, chipping at the wall, passing baskets and buckets up on a human chain in greys and blues, and then you're in the house again, and it's musky. And you put your head down to sleep, and you just try and get to sleep, and you're crying, and you're hysterical, and you can't stop weeping, and you're digging in a labyrinth, relentlessly digging, passing buckets to people in greys and blues, and you're in the room again, and you're trying to get to sleep, and you're crying, and you're digging, and you're in a house with no windows, and you're trying to get to sleep, and you're crying, and you're digging, and you're in a house with no windows, and you're trying to sleep, and you're crying, and you're digging, and then suddenly you're looking at the flame again, and you're looking at the mirror again.
Okay. So there's more steps to complete here, isn't there, for this ritual?
Yeah, this is a 2-step ritual.
In which case, I'm then going to try and focus on the lighter, which I imagine she's kind of got placed in her lap. Like, she's hiked her skirt up a bit so she can still have it against her skin without having to break that chain.
I would say it's the lighter. It might be cooler as the lighter has got a flame of itself. I'm imagining more of a Zippo type thing than something that you have to stay on. So you actually blow out that candle in the middle, place the lighter by the mirror, and squeeze your hand again to get just a few drips of blood that hiss and spit over the lighter's flame. You want to roll for me again. This is going to be same roll again. Will and observation with an instinct focus.
Okay. Do you think... So we've got some momentum. Are we okay if I spend that so I can roll some more dice again?
Yes.
Well, I'll spend the 3 momentum to roll 4 dice again then.
Thanks, Thumb. You know, unfortunately, that it's at this point that your assistants just aren't as connected as you are to this.
Yeah.
You have to push to get this final clear vision.
Okay, I'll spend 3 momentum for 4 dice, and then I'll give you 3 threats so I can roll a full 5. And like, worst comes to worst, I can use some fortune in a bit to reroll.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is 14 threats for me there.
Information
momentum in the
be
pool.
super crucial. Yeah.
Can you roll for me? Difficulty 2.
I can. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Great. Give yourself 2 momentum. Prue, there's no assists here. Constance is the one who's got the power here. She needs to focus on this ritual.
I'd be too embarrassed anyway.
The cost, it's going to be another 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to cost me 3 points of stress. Oh, why
Sure
is this
laughing
not-
at.
It's Pruitt.
I'm just being an embarrassed anime protagonist since I get embarrassed with magic.
And then I roll challenge dice equal to my
Good.
power, right? Sam?
Yes, sorry, I'm being distracted by
It's okay.
silliness.
Can I pay momentum to roll additional challenge dice?
Yes, you
Is
can.
that
Up to
okay? Is
3.
it up to 3?
Mhm.
Shall I roll some more challenge dice?
Sure.
6. I'll roll 1 extra one, so I'll spend 1
Okay.
momentum. I'll keep the other in case we want to ask questions about things we've seen. So
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Very good. Okay. You go through almost like a film shot through the cracked windows of Carlavaro's art emporium. It's kind of weird, but you know those dreams where you don't necessarily speak the language, but your brain is kind of making you and understand it, and you can see the real slurs against Great Britain, the intelligence services, swear words, even some anti-Semitic stuff for no good reason. As you pan, as the kind of crane shot goes through a crack, a break in the glass in the window. There are paintings here that have been broken, canvas cracked through in the middle, thrown onto the ground. Pots and paint brushes from all across the shelves knocked over onto the floor here. And you think it's an animal scurrying behind the counter or something like that, but as you peer round the counter, you see a very scared and vulnerable young man huddled over with bright blue eyes that pierce into 1,000-yard stare, a knife in hand, shaking, pointed past the counter where like an attack could come. And there are fresh scars on his arm. And then you're staring at the flame. And back in the room with these guys.
Ooh, okay. So we didn't see anyone else. I didn't see anyone else in the room. It was just him.
Just him.
Did he look sane? As in, like, was that 1,000-yard stare the look that I would perceive someone to have, like, after I've cast one of my spells? Like, they've seen something that wasn't just awful. They've seen something.
Want to spend a momentum?
Do we want to know that, guys, or is there another question that we'd rather? Cool. Yeah, I'll spend that momentum then. Does it look like that 1,000-yard stare is closer to something that is like mythos related or like magic related?
It's definitely not magically related. He has definitely suffered some trauma. It's fresh trauma, and he is just in a kind of exhausted survival mode.
Would I get a feel of how recent that was? Like, what where I was looking into? Was I looking into present, or was I looking into past? Would I be able to
For
sense
momentum, I'll tell you exactly when this is.
that? Yeah, I'll give you a point of threat then.
Okay. 15 for me. This is right now. The sun is exactly the same. It's present day, to the minute, to the second.
In which case, I will then break the circle, like panicked, and like take a minute to blink. It's like, we need to go back to the shop. Someone's still in the shop. There's someone still in there. I saw a man. He's still in there. He's terrified. I don't think they were watching. I think they were waiting for him to come out. Well, I didn't know he was in there.
Okay, so after what went on before, you want to go right back there.
He's seen something. Something's happening, and I think he might have answers.
This is our only lead we have. We have to take it. We have to be careful.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is a hell of a risk.
Yeah.
All right. Mama didn't raise no fool, but let's do something foolish.
We can
How do you
worry
propose-
about. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, how do you propose we get in there?
From that vision, Sam, did it look like there was a back door to that shop?
You can't tell from the vision, I'm afraid. You were in the front of a shop, and it's not often that they'll have like a little staff entrance or staff doors out the back, but you won't necessarily see right into the back of the shop and whether you've actually got a kind of street side door.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we come at it from behind. We see if there's a back entrance.
Well,
Worst comes to
that or-
worst.
Is there like certainly they have. I know Rome built a bunch of aqueducts. Didn't they have sewers? Is there a way maybe to get in from down there?
Maybe, but we don't have plans for the sewers here. We don't want to get stuck down there either.
It's going to be dark, and we have no idea where these go.
Damn it, George.
But I think we need to go now. Otherwise, I just get the sense of something really terrible happening.
Yeah.
We can worry about what else everyone saw later, because I don't think that labyrinth is our biggest concern right now.
Hopefully we'll be lucky, and they'll be doing a sort of spiral search, and they'll make their way back to the shop.
This might be our only chance to go there, because considering what happened tomorrow, they might up.
Yeah.
They're definitely going to up the security in that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
Worst comes to it, we go in, we grab the guy, we run and gun and get somewhere safe.
Yeah, we all loaded. We all ready.
Well, in that case,
in case.
we have a vehicle here.
No, apart
We
from
have planes.
Elsie's plane back at the airport. No.
Rome's quite a pedestrian kind of place, though, right? Like
Yeah.
there's a few major roads, but I mean, oh no, scooters weren't really a thing in the 40s. I couldn't nick as a scooter.
I don't know. I don't think Vespers were like.
No, a little Vespa.
No.
Dang it.
Bit too early for that.
I mean, I think motorcycles had a rise in World War II, but
Definitely motorcycle and sidecar jobs. My
We're going to be
grandparents
loud
were
by
around on them.
motorcycles.
Yeah, but they are.
It
Yeah,
would be, and I don't fancy fitting 4 people on a bike. It could be done,
we
but
could
I don't want
try.
to do it.
Telly,
Tetley, sorry.
just
He
riding
tucked
up on
into
the.
my
on just,
jacket
yeah,
Just
just
have like a little
letting the wind blow in his hair.
with his goggles on.
Yeah. All right. Did you want to try and grab a vehicle, or did you want to head straight there as quickly as possible on foot?
I think
I
we're
mean,
going to be better off in foot.
I wouldn't mind a vehicle in case we had to make a quick getaway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At least
We're
to
gonna
have it nearby.
Elsie,
If
you're the one
anyone
that
can
can do this.
escape
It's up
quickly.
to you.
I mean, I can get us a motor.
Maybe some of us start going, and then someone sticks around with Elsie, and Elsie grabs us a motor to get there. Because either way, you're going to get there about the same time as us, maybe if not before. You can pick us up on the way.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe two of us start and then begin casing the archer, and then we'll just wait for you.
Yeah, perhaps
Around.
maybe Sophia and I should be the ones to kind of case it out, since we were across the street and they didn't probably get a really good look at us. So probably be better, maybe. And we'll
All right,
change into some of
Constance.
our absconded wardrobe.
Yeah.
Kind of change things up a little bit. And,
Do you fancy on adding, theft of a vehicle to your list of crimes today? Mugging a police officer. Vehicular theft.
We started off pretty high. This is lower on the.
No, wait, we've got mugging a police officer, breaking and entering, trespassing,
keep going.
theft of clothing,
Yeah.
destruction
Mis-
of property with offense,
We are carrying unregulated
illegal
firearms.
weaponry. Yeah.
It's spy
Yeah.
games, folks. It's not nice.
And we
it's
don't
not legal in any sense.
I mean, I don't think unless we get caught, we really need to worry about that kind of thing. So
No.
let's just not get caught.
Yeah. That's always a good
Two
rule of
words,
thumb.
disaster spies.
Disaster supplies. Okay.
All right.
Who's making their way on foot and who's grabbing the vehicle?
I guess we'll be the foot.
Yeah, we'll be members of the Foot clan. Yeah.
Oh no, that doesn't bode well for us.
Does that mean, Constance, you're helping Elsie, or Elsie, are you on
I
your
am.
own? Okay.
No,
Right,
Constance
Bill.
is helping, yeah.
I want to see how cars get stolen. Constance doesn't understand that. That's like real magic to her. Actual magic she can do, but all of this funky stuff with vehicles.
Cool. Okay. Well, you head out onto the street, and Ward, Sophia, Bolt make their way as fast as they can without looking too conspicuous back towards the shop. Elsie, as you come out onto the poorer street, there unfortunately aren't any cars here, so you will have to go more towards the center of town to be able to find one. Because you're heading out more onto a main street, while there are quite a few people, getting into the car itself and getting it going isn't going to be that difficult, but that complication range is just going to be pretty big because lots of people around. If someone spots you, then danger. So I would like you to roll for me. I'm just thinking whether this is pure stealth. I mean, this is vehicles. This is you getting into the vehicle. You sidle up to a 1930 Isotta Fraschini Tipo 8A SS Cabriolet.
Oh.
Because I googled it. It's got a weirdly SS vibey like lightning bolt across the front grille. It's actually quite posh. It's got a flappy lass on the front, standing up with a little wings.
A floppy lass.
It's got a flappy lass on the front.
I'm sorry, a flappy lass? Is that?
You're not there. You don't know. It's even got a little searchlight just on the driver's side. The passenger side. It will be actually for an Italian car. So you sidle up to that, but it's one of those ones where it's got the kind of long, like mud guards that then like hoop over the car tires, like really smooth and nice. It's a really nice looking car. You
slip
pick
on
them.
a very dainty pair of brown leather driving gloves.
Very nice. And so this is going to be a vehicles test for you. I would say coordination.
All right.
And Constance, you are going to assist with some stealth. And what kind of attribute would you use here? What kind of approach are you taking? Excuse me.
No, there's not many people around here, is there?
Oh, yes, sir.
There are.
Complication range here, guys, is going to be 17, 18, 19, or 20. This is a main street.
Boy.
Anyone spots you doing this, there is gonna be trouble.
Okay, can I just ask, because I don't know cars. Is this a civilian car, or is this...
Yeah.
This
is a civilian car. It's one of those slightly more old-fashioned ones where it's 2 main seats, quite nice and in leather, but just behind it's basically either luggage space or people have to fucking squeeze. It's one of those older cars where you don't really have proper back seats. They weren't really quite designed that way, and it's got a very long bonnet for the engine, and then the flappy lass on the front.
But it's fancy, right? It's a posh car. You'd have to have money.
I'll copy the image address into our chat.
I
right?
have an idea.
That's what I'm talking about. If that will even let you link into the thing, chat.
Right,
this is what I'm talking about. If I'm even allowed to post this, there we go. He got classics.com.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's a nice car.
Oh, that's a nice car.
That is a nice.
It's a really nice car.
Isina, a flappy lass is what I can't remember the word for angel. She's flappy because she's got wings, and she's a lass because she's a woman.
So there's still a lot of tourists. Sorry, go on.
No, don't worry. Just let's go with the game.
So there's still a lot of tourism happening in Rome, right? We've seen tourists from all kinds of places that are going around, and
it is quieter than usual, tourist-wise, but there is certainly still a more kind of like multicultural kind of vibe to the people that are around you. But you trying to, having run through the streets of Rome just now, you'll have gathered that they're kind of a mix of what we would call Axis forces, even though that hasn't quite really come about yet. Italy hasn't declared war on anybody. They're neutral at the moment. But, there's still that kind of cautious, anxious vibe in the air.
I would like to... I don't know if I can, because I don't know if I can use my linguistics focus outside of academia, but perhaps on a very slightly kind of German accent, and play up that we're supposed to have this car, because the best way to do stuff is to act like you're meant to be there, right? So I can do the whole, is this the car that you have rented for me? This is a lovely car. It does run well. I need to look good when I arrive, and just make it look like I'm a little bit important. And then
I'm just going, see.
And when Elsie is fiddling around, I'm going to be like, what, is there something wrong? You know how to drive this, don't you? But with a very kind of quite clipped and quite soft German accent, which I'm hoping I can get away with because I have a focus on linguistics. But I don't know if it can be used with that.
I love your explanation, but I'm lost as to what you're rolling. Whatever you're rolling, I'm good. Let's do this.
I would probably go with something like reason, and if I can swing it with reason and academia, to just using my linguistics focus to just pull out anything I know about Germany that sounds like it would fit the tone for what I'm supposed to be saying.
Okay,
That's what
you do so. That's what you're going to roll your assist die with. Susie, do you want to buy any dice with threat?
What difficulty is this going to be?
This is going to be difficulty 1. It's just the complication range we've got to look out for.
See, I feel pretty good about that. I mean, the number I've got to roll under is a 16.
So, yeah. So it's either success or complication. So.
I don't know. I feel pretty good to just do a straight roll. What do you guys think? Yeah,
That's fine.
I
feel pretty confident in this one. And this is where pride comes before the fall. Let's just roll 2.
Yeah, because we've been doing so well so far.
17!
This is her wheelhouse. This is Elsie's wheelhouse.
This is my shit. I know this.
Yeah.
This is my jam, Holmes.
And I know this.
Look at that.
Yes. And then, yes, it's a success for me as well.
3 successes.
2 momentum.
2 momentum. You comfortably slip the handle, or the catch, open the door, see. Get Constance into the passenger seat, slip open the driver's side door, and get into that. Well, actually, I'm imagining Constance will kind of like unlock it from the inside. And then you will just get in and start wiring the equivalent of hot wiring, the messing around with the clutch, not the clutch, the choke. That's what they used to have. So messing around with the choke and getting her going. And she purrs. This flappy lass is amazing.
I'm
gonna keep this going as long as I can. No, sorry.
I'm just gonna look at Elsie and be like, we could just keep this, right? We could just keep the car.
Oh, I just want to take this one on with me, and I'm just like peg the steering wheel. I'm like, oh, you're beautiful.
And the wooden finish on the dashboard.
So sad.
Little
This is gonna happen by the end of the
Little
session.
kiss to the dashboard. Okay, let's.
And you drive round to join up with Sophia and Ward. There's a little beep, beep, next to you, and Ward just kind of inconspicuously just check to the side of you. See Elsie in the driver's seat of a rather lovely car. And I suppose we'll squeeze in the back.
Yeah.
All right. And you guys drive round towards the street. I'm imagining, unless you want to drop people off straight outside the shop, kind of you're within the vicinity, and you guys get to then approach from where you guys like. How do you approach it? You guys drop people off like separately? Do you all get out? Just hide the car somewhere? What's the kind of approach? Do you think?
Yeah, I think Sophia's just like maybe like each person kind of like does a perimeter a little bit on one side just to make sure, kind of like securing each side, and then come toward the shop. So drop someone off, and then
maybe
hide the car.
Yeah, look to see if there's like a back alley or something for this run of shops. Just find an alternate way in.
Sure. Ward, you head out and you do this time find a back alley that doesn't back onto any other properties like on the other side, but is just an alleyway that then backs onto a wall with a fence and a bit of kind of land underneath it. It's not very kept. It's not a park, but it's just a bit, scrubland kind of thing, just on the back of that. And you're able to head around the back and almost what you assume to be directly to the back door of this area. There's no one around you. But there are little metal bins and stuff around the back. There's scraps of cloth, and there's some crap at the other end of the alleyway. But no one around. Who's the next person to get out, and where?
I feel like I would be the last because I'm going to stash the car. So,
who do you boot out next?
I don't know.
I mean,
Constance knows who we're looking for.
Yeah, I'm happy to get out and see what's going on. But also, the two of us have been made by those police officers. So if we're driving round, there's more chance than spotting both of us, especially since I was the one that was just like, yoink, mine. So sooner I'm not driving round and round where people can see me, probably better.
Yeah.
I would probably do a similar thing to what Ward has done, and that's check out the kind of outlying street without going around the front of the shop, because that's where I don't want to be. And if I see Ward in the alley and he looks chill, Constance will probably come over as well.
Cool. You head around the back of the shop as well. Sophia, where would you like to scout out?
I think Sophia's going to kind of like retrace her initial surveil of the shop and just kind of get out a block or two in front, kind of like get close enough to the front to kind of see if there's anyone there, and then just kind of make her way wherever Ward and Constance are.
Cool. You notice that outside the street, the front of the shop, that there are no more OVRA agents
Okay.
in the area at the moment. And Elsie, you are the last to kind of get onto the scene, as it were. Where do you stash the car, or what do you do with it?
I would take it maybe a street or two down, but somewhere that's easy to get to on foot, so I can scope it out where it is and tuck it away somewhere that's not super noticeable from, if you're just like glancing down a street.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if there's like some place I can just kind of tuck it around and then just casually make my way back, as if I was just meant to be there the whole time.
Cool. You tuck it away and slowly head back. You're quite apprehensive about heading back onto the exact area of the street that you guys were on, but as you approach, you don't see any other OVRA agents in the area and manage to link back up with Sophia. Guys, at the back of the shop, you have a simple wooden door in front of you with cracked white paint on it. It has one plank barring the door that's been nailed to the frame, the wooden frame. Quite easy to get off. There's no graffiti on this side either, but there's no little windows or anything at eye level or below to see through into the back of the shop. What would you guys like to do?
If you don't mind, Captain.
Well, I mean, if there's somebody in there, they might. I don't want to have them taking a pot shot at me.
He had a knife, not a gun. So.
All right.
I don't think
It's your
he's
only
gonna
way
be doing
in.
anything from a distance.
I'll go and try to force the door then.
Okay. You the door would open inwards, so the bar covers the handle, basically stops it from moving. So you have to carefully prise away the wooden bar. As you creak the nails back, rock it forward a bit, try and get some leverage, you can faintly hear a bit of scrabbling from inside. You think you hear someone. And just as you creak the nails back and manage to pull the wood away and just toss it down aside, the door in front of you is easy enough as you try the handle. But just at this second, don't open the door, because I want to let you decide if you want to go through or not.
He'll kind of look around once he's got that off at Constance and everyone, just kind of like are y'all ready for this? Kind of a glance.
Handed her handbag on the ground.
Handbag, yeah. Just
And
gonna be
Ward is
jumpy.
going to go ahead and he's going to pull his pistol out before he opens the door and go ahead and just screw the silencer on, because I don't trust anyone now. I've been shot at by too many people, and the war hasn't even started yet.
Yeah.
So he's going to go ahead and put a silencer on, and then he's going to just kind of silently count down, like 3, 2, 1, and then he will breach the door.
Okay.
Okay. You going in quietly, or are you going in to try and kind of clear the ground floor?
I mean, he's just going to go in. I'm not trying to make a lot of noise, but I'm not necessarily being like stealthy silent,
Okay.
Because we were supposed to come here to meet these people. So if he sees anybody,
Mhm.
he can only speak American at them. So American.
Yeah. As you step through into the back of the shop, floorboards creak underneath you. There is buckets of acrylics and oil paints and stuff have all been smashed all along the floor, little pots and stuff. the floor is awash with all of these different colors. It would be a fun, beautiful piece of modern art if the place hadn't been ransacked by fascist agents. Stuff is scattered all over the floor, sketch pads, pencils, brushes. There's even a little bit of like some white spirits in the corner that have been knocked over. It's dusty in here and it's a little musky, but there's no like strange off-putting smell until you walk through and there's a toilet with a door open ajar just on your right hand side before you would progress into the main shop, and there is a door in front of you for the actual kind of shop front. As you peek round the side of the toilet door, you're overcome with the smell of a blocked up toilet full of effluents. Just cooling it a bit, you give yourself a second, and the door in front of you is there for the shop front if you want to go straight through.
Who is going through that door first? That's the question. Because whoever goes in first is going to make an impression on that guy if he's still here.
Don't send the American. Couldn't help it, sorry.
I can go.
I mean, if anything, he might recognize you, right, Sophia?
If it's one of our contacts, but I can take care of myself and I can hide my weapon in case I need it. I can hopefully talk to them. Academics usually aren't high on the threat list for anybody.
Okay. You slowly make your way into the shop front. Ward, did you want to back that up some?
No, I was just going to say, I was going to move in behind Sophia, backing her up, but I will have my gun kind of behind me so it's not like out. But,
Cool.
you know, still at the ready.
Sure.
I will also trail behind because Sophia's my sister and I want to make sure nothing crazy happens to her. So
Elsie and Tetley at the rear. Right. You slowly head in into this shop front, opening this door just a creak. It does creak as you open, and it opens forward out into the shop floor. The light that comes in gives you a good amount of light from the broken windows and some of the looser boarding that's actually on the shop front windows. But in here, it's exactly as the vision described to you. Fragments of broken glass underfoot as a couple of panes snap under your shoes. With this wrecked interior of paints, notebooks, and sketch pads and other pieces of artist's equipment all scattered all over the floor. The counter is to your left, and as you turn around the corner in the wall, all you've got is this wall that you're hugging on your left-hand side, like a meter gap, or a couple of feet gap, and the counter. So when you turn that corner, you're just going to be straight on this guy.
Okay.
How would you want to approach?
I'm just going to come out. Just put the book in my bag, just kind of like hands out, just kind of coming out like I'm not trying to sneak up on them. It's like, we're here to help. Just looking for a few of my friends. We're unarmed. I'm not coming at you armed. And I'll walk toward the center of the room. I'm saying that. I'm saying.
As you say those first words, you hear a yelp and a stir from behind the counter. And as you walk back, so that you're not just turning the corner and being quite imposing, you're walking backwards and trying to stay out into the kind of middle of the shop floor. You get a clear look on this guy. His blonde hair is filthy, absolutely caked with mud and what appears to you to be dried blood. As his hand shakes, holding his chest and this knife, his fingernails are broken and encrusted with dirt. His clothes are torn and stained. He's wearing a couple of different shirts, not buttoned up, over the top of what look like grey overalls underneath, and a blue vest over the top, like you see comes through underneath these two like hastily added shirts. I mean, this is the living remains of a very scarred, what once was good-looking young Italian man. And he just almost looks through you as he is wielding this knife in your direction, and his hand vibrating with fear. Could you make for me, please, a persuasion and reason test?
Okay.
Please. Persuasion focus would be, I would say, negotiation.
And reason, so that's a 13.
This is going to be difficulty 3.
Okay. I definitely did not want this gentleman to, for his safety and for ours, to just get jumpy. So I am going to use one of my 2 fortune points to make one of those rolls a 1.
Cool. All right. So you've got a second dice that you can roll. As I said, you need 3 successes. So you can roll it, you can try it, or maybe add any dice you'd like from the 2 momentum that you do have still, I believe.
Do you mind if I use one of the 2 momentum for that?
Go for it.
Okay, yep. So I can see we're kind of like behind the counter, right?
He is, from your viewpoint, you've got a side-on look at the counter, and it's a short, like, wooden little display counter that is kind of no more than 5 feet long, really. And he's nestled in the gap between that and the wall. He's kind of like nested here, and you get a little bit of that smell from here that you got from the toilet, unfortunately. And the place is dusty. You know, there is the display stuff that was on the counter has been smashed as well. So there's bits and pots of paint and like glue and stuff like that was kind of stuck to the floor near him too. It looks like very much that he's been like nesting here. But from your point of view, you're looking kind of side on towards the counter rather than like front on. So you're away from the counter, you're not behind it with him, and he has basically got, you know, there's only 2 of him effectively that could fit behind that counter, and he's taking up most of the space with his like little nest.
Yeah, so what I'm doing is she is just kind of like, she's making like smooth, like slow movements. She's going to just kind of sit down and just like kind of, or kind of like look at him and just says, what was the name of my of our section D head?
Major Grand.
Yeah. We're friends with Mr. Grant and Mr. DeConnick. Mean you no harm. You look like you're in a lot of pain. Just please let us help you. And then I'll roll. So that is that 3?
So you're rolling 2 dice, and then we're adding 2 successes onto that because of your because the one you've already got from your fortune point.
My bag is away from me. My jacket is on. So it's just like I'm trying to make, but I'm not going to try anything. And then my 2. Oh god! Oh, thank goodness! Those are 2 successes.
Amazing. So you have 1 momentum back in the pool.
Mm-hmm.
So two total. Thank you, V. And he stares at you, and then you see his face change and drop. And as he drops the knife, he just starts sobbing, and he has an impulse to go out and reach for you, but he can't move.
Yeah, I'll do the thing of I'll just kind of approach him and just kind of like do very slowly so you can see, just kind of put my arm, just kind of like initiate like contact, just kind of put my arm on his shoulder and just very slowly, at any point he can just kind of like shrug away, but
no, he effectively leaps on you for support. Head buried in your neck as he sobs and just holds onto you with his 2 hands rather than a hug. He's just gripping hold of you, and is sobbing, and he just says, "Please." In English, he says, "Please, please, don't let me go back, please."
It's okay. You're
please not back.
Your friends.
Please.
Yeah, I'll kind of like I'll give a little bit of time for him to kind of like get that out and just like I have medical supplies. I can help you. Don't be alarmed. I have a few friends just outside that door. They're gonna come in. They're with me. They're friends. And you can come in now. Just I'll kind of like wave you in, and I'll still like hold on to him.
And yeah, seeing the scene, Ward would he would kind of stand down and go ahead and holster his weapon and start checking windows, doors, like kind of checking the perimeter as they're taking care of this guy.
So you check through the windows at the front of the shop and see the street scene in front of you. No OVRA agents in sight just now, and we're gonna kind of like do like a crossfade to a bit later when you've all recuperated a little bit. You're in one of the back rooms of the shop. Nicky, as he eventually introduces himself as properly, your presence here is really helping him and get out what he needs to get out. He makes it quite clear that we need to get out of here because the police, but I don't know where to go. He describes how he was arrested by the OVRA, the anti-socialist forces, secret police here in Rome. He was assigned to a group of labourers who were working at a road construction site near the Castel San Angelo, which is a castle near Vatican City, just on the other side of the river, roughly from where you are. This is where he really struggles. He describes how it's not a road construction. They made us work in the tunnels underneath the road. And he steels himself a few times, eventually managing to describe to you that underneath there are these tunnels going this, going that, going here, going there. And he doesn't know the word for it, but he's describing this kind of maze, labyrinth-esque kind of thing to you. Or like some kind of catacombs, essentially, underneath that area of Rome. He does repeat and strangely requests of you and gets quite hysterical and starts to have a panic attack when he's talking about this, and eventually comes out with the fact that you can't take me back there's snakes. There's snakes, and I don't take me back. Don't. He managed to escape the dig site that is under very heavy Nazi guard. And Germans are here guarding that too, this dig site. He managed to escape by sheer opportunity. He doesn't go into the details. But Agent Lucrezia is still there, and he fears that she might have suffered the fate of some other prisoners, that some of them have gone missing, some of them have turned up dead. But based on probably a bit of your quick research and briefing before you actually came over, or on the flight, the Castel San Angelo, very well-known castle here in Rome. I mean, if you were to get up onto the kind of top, so like the kind of second floor of this shop, you could point at it from where you are. It's a big castle near the Vatican City, very easy to find. You guys will know exactly where this is.
Okay.
So basically, you escaped, and they were probably here. Did you get back here before they found you? And they've been maybe thinking, keeping an eye on this place, see if you came back. Okay.
We have to leave, but I don't know.
Do you think you can remember enough of the catacombs to draw at least a rudimentary map?
He is almost refusing himself. He can't bring himself at this point to do that. He's just it's so fresh for him, and he's in so much trauma that he's been even struggling to get this out to you.
Yeah.
Can Constance is gonna I'm imagining we're all kind of sat on the floor, but she's gonna kneel down next to him and take his hand and wait until he kind of looks at her and be like, I saw it. I saw it. I saw the digging. I saw the buckets. I saw the crying. And I know that you can't sleep. And we don't want anyone else to go through that. So if you can give us any direction, anything at all, we can make sure that everyone else there gets out alive. Please, I know it's hard. I've seen it. I saw it. It's how we found you. And I'm gonna look at him, and she's gonna let the kind of mask that she keeps drop just a little bit, and give him that dead stare, and just says, I have seen things too. Please. It doesn't have to be a lot, just enough to get us in there and get us to where the snakes are. And we won't take you back. We'll help you. We can get you out of here. But we need to know. And she's going to try and persuade him to draw us that rudimentary map.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, good. I have already done this. Sweet. Okay. Give me 2 ticks. So please roll persuasion for me. And this feels like will.
Sure.
And I will say, let's have a look at your sheet. I will let you apply your occultism focus because from academia, because you've linked it so heavily to that side of you. It's not rules as written, kids, but I like it. Right, where's my fantasy grounds?
Difficulty, Sam.
Difficulty is going to be 3.
3.
As before, as this kind of this guy is in a terrible way.
How bad do we want these maps, guys? Bad enough
Really?
to spend some momentum or give Sam some threat?
I think so.
How many dice do you want me to roll? 3 or 4? I'm thinking 4 to be safe.
Or yeah,
4 to be
Yeah.
safe. Yeah, that would be. Yeah.
we still have 4.
We kinda
if
need 'em.
anything.
Okay, Sam, I will give you 3 points of threat then.
All right.
18.
Hi, 18 threat. How you doing?
That's okay. That's a good thing. Threat is good. It makes things interesting.
I've been spending it, so
So I'm looking for 13 then.
Okay.
Come on. Oh yes, okay. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes.
Nice.
so 3 momentum.
So that gives us 5 momentum in total. Yay!
Nice.
Nice.
Cool. All right.
Excellent.
He draws you. Share sheet. He draws you the dig site map.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Hopefully, Will or whoever's engineering will catch up with us here. But if you guys can all see this,
Yep.
this is a main, as Susie said before, a pedestrianised kind of street. So it's a lot wider than the kind of streets that certainly the Price Sisters are used to in London. But it's one of the kind of larger avenue-style streets, like you'd say, get in a larger American city. You can see there that there is a fenced-off area around the dig site. It's quite clearly fenced off, and on the well, actually, I've got some description stuff here. Entry to the site is by that single main gate. He describes it being manned at all times. The patrols around the edges, and he draws those little patrol arrows that go around the perimeter of the inside of the thing. There is the barracks. It's in the top right-hand corner of the kind of compound. That barracks are for the troopers that are there. Next to that is a great kind of soil heap where they've just stowed the excavated stuff. He describes the gates, though, as being large enough for larger vehicles, like lorries and stuff, or trucks for the American audience, to get inside, take away soil, and head back out again. There's a small site office at the south side, as well as that there's next to prisoner barracks. The prisoner barracks, basically, as he describes it, would match up to your vision from earlier, guys, where there are no windows inside. It's very, very dark, and just cracks of light just get through the wall or in the ceiling, and it's the only little bit of illumination.
Is it built up off the ground?
Yes, it is.
So you could approach underneath?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, very much so.
What's
These
the fence
kind of
made
wood,
of?
yeah, the kind of wooden prefab type things. The fence. Oh my. Let's say is a kind of metal, kind of corrugated fence. So it's a kind of wavy fence, but it is kind of a solid metal. He thinks it's patchy. It's not obviously never going to be perfect, but it is that kind of weird corrugated iron construction. They don't really want people looking in. And then there's a shed which leads down into the catacombs. So that itself, he says, always has a heavy guard on it. Not just for us, he says, but for the snakes. The patrol routes you can see on the right-hand side, just outside the compound, and then obviously then there's the Vatican off to the west, down that street. You can notice as well on the north side that the fence is backed right up to boarded up buildings that are due for demolition. Some of those have even been knocked, like half of them been knocked down already. But there is a bit of a gap for pedestrians and some smaller vehicles on the south side of that compound.
So we could We could go in through those buildings and try and get through that way. Those buildings have got second floors.
It would certainly give you an observation kind of sight, but
Yeah, definitely give us some cover.
Man, I don't like that. I don't like the fence the way being.
Yeah.
Silly question, Sam. There's a note on there about the base of the meta pyramid. Is that something that he describes to us, or is that just an unfortunate note that's left on the?
a little bit column A, a little bit column B. So he yeah, I know. Well, it's such a great map. I wanted to show you because it's so clear about where stuff is.
I wanted to check through it,
yeah.
so I didn't meta. Because if he hasn't mentioned it, I'll just ignore it being there.
All right.
Thanks, you're so good to me. So yeah, basically those catacombs would extend under the city, in that area, in that kind of square, grey square underneath.
Oh, this is gonna take some looking at.
Yeah. Should we go?
Why do none of
maybe?
us speak Italian?
Yeah, I know. Should we go maybe to one of these buildings and then just kind of observe, see what we can pick up, and then
Yeah, let's figure out
find out
how on
something.
point these guards are, because like there's always somebody who's lazy on patrol, right? There's always one.
yeah, or if there's anything that we can glean from this. Yeah.
It's interesting. They don't patrol between the prisoner barracks and the site office. So if neither of those buildings have windows, that could be a nice little blind spot to hide in at some point if we need it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any other plans before we head on out?
Can we find George?
No.
Well, I mean, if we could get somebody inside, that would be one thing. Get a assessment from the people inside.
I mean, we could get one of ourselves captured and I'm assuming anybody that goes in there, they're going to drag straight into as a prisoner. They're not going to let you go. But if people are turning up dead, they're probably looking for more people, right?
Well, yeah, but when we turn it up and can't speak Italian, then we might go somewhere different for a little bit of interrogation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nicky offers something up here. He says they never asked me. I didn't even have a tribunal speciale. They just took me.
Well,
Let's put that on our list of ideas.
Yes.
put a pin in that.
Probably just to put a pin like all the way over there, though. Let's explore other options first.
Yeah. Let's get a good look at the site, and then maybe we can figure out something. There might be a rare
If need
option.
be, I'll do it, but I won't be happy about it.
If anybody's happy about being a POW to that lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we
How solid is that metal fence? Is it overlapping panels? Is there? Because
he really thinks hard. If you want to spend a momentum, I'll tell you for a fact.
yeah, we got loads.
Yeah, spend some. We've got 5.
Yep. Do it.
God, that's gonna go
Hello,
on the
GIF.
thing. Yeah. My notes.
All of the momentum.
all of my index cards, it was worth it though.
Thank you, V. So yeah, basically where you see a little dot is a post, and each separate corrugated piece of iron fence is like hooked up, like strapped up to that. So they're separate panels in between posts.
Are they
Okay.
riveted or are they screwed?
Oh my days. One more momentum.
Because
We're literally rivet counting now.
I'm
Planning-
saying I have
planning
a
takes this.
toolkit.
Yeah. If we don't know the difference between it, then we might be screwed. So,
So
but I think that
Want to spend
if we can get
it?
someone in, This is what I'm thinking. If we can get someone in, get at least a section of that fence open, and we could maybe start sneaking some of these people out through the south into this abandoned building and disperse from there.
Maybe
For
we
all
could
intents and
find.
purposes, Starlock 17 mission.
Maybe we could find out who is the commanding officer here. Maybe somebody pays him a visit from, I don't know, someone's heard whispers of catacombs. An archaeological society was very interested.
Okay, I have a Buchwald idea. Yeah, it's run by Nazis, right?
Mhm.
We have someone who speaks German. Do we kidnap a Nazi, beat them up, put Sophia in their uniform and send her in? It's a Buchwald idea.
Or if it's an archaeological dig, I can maybe
all that.
maybe bluff my way into being an expert. Someone they sent
Well,
in
I
from.
think we should at least get you like a nice little Nazi pin. I mean, they do like the jewelry.
Yes.
A lot of skull motifs.
Yeah.
Mm.
You could bring us in as prisoners. If you could pull that off, you could pull in that you've come to figure stuff out. You're an expert that's been sent down, and you could say that you also caught us snooping around.
Yeah.
That gets us all in.
It does.
I don't think we all need to be in. I think there needs to be some people on the outside for backup, and that sort of thing.
Although we have to decide who is prepared to go down into those catacombs and see what's going on.
Well, I've already volunteered.
I'm happy to go down if there's weird stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. That is true. But if they're going to put you to work down there, all your magic stuff's taking a toll on you.
That's true,
No.
but I am the only. I am one of the few of us that can walk in there and still have a weapon.
Also true.
Mm-hmm.
Can
I mean,
you
if we
melt
wanna go
minds
nuclear
without space, though, Captain? Can you?
All right.
Okay,
If someone can
what
get
are
in,
we
we can get
doing?
back in.
What's the plan?
I think we should try some on-site observation first to help formulate this.
Okay, so yes, but if we go with the you two going in as prisoners, we have a very fancy car. Sophia can speak German.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. You can
That
get in
helps
as the
the
driver.
move. Yes.
Actually, I wouldn't even have to sneak in then. I could come along as a British occult expert.
Yes.
Consultant, yeah.
Oh, yes.
An attaché, yeah.
Mm-hmm. What other languages does Constance speak?
English and Latin,
Okay.
but I do have a linguistics focus, so I can play around
Okay.
with
Okay.
occulty stuff.
Just okay. That might work.
But I don't have to be German. I could just be,
I mean, you could be like just an expert that
yeah.
I dragged into it. That would allow you to at least not be immediately put in with the prisoners.
For all they
So that
know, you're
sounds-
a British defector.
Yes. Yes. Ward
Well-
could come in as an armed guard.
Okay, but now we need to start finding some uniforms.
Mm.
These guys have got to change shift eventually, right? They have to rotate out. It can't just be the same sets of guards. They must bring in more people.
Some of them have to be going downtime at some point.
Some of them
Oh,
have
yeah.
to be visiting
Away.
bars and cafes and
Yeah, we could get a few
back
stragglers
alleys.
away.
Mm-hmm.
Because I
I
imagine
mean,
it's
let's not
strictly
think I know
boring.
the cafe yet, but
If there's one thing I know about squaddies is they love a drink.
Especially when they've been paid, when their shift is basically just sit around all day and stand.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
if we're lucky, one of them might even be a little bit loudmouthed about something.
We could hope.
We could observe. We can see if we can see them leaving in and out and where they head.
So yeah, why don't we head try to get down to that boarded up building, see what we can see.
Okay. Do you want to try and do that in a hurry in the daylight, or do you want to take your time and wind up in the evening in darkness? Okay.
I think caution is of the utmost importance at this point.
Sure. So
we might want to arrive in darkness as well with the car.
So with a cautious approach, I'm not going to get you guys to roll. You managed to make your way into one of the boarded up buildings. On the north side or on the south side?
I would vote south because I want to try to get a look at the fence, at the street there. Because hell, we could even have the car break down in the alleyway next to where we want. So at least but that way we can get a closer look at the fence right there. I don't know, just a thought.
Okay.
Yeah, because then we can see the entrance to the barracks from there as well better.
Yep.
Okay,
Definitely.
Cool. From the south side of this compound, at your observation point, a couple of floors up, you can see into the compound over the fences. The single main gate is manned by Italian black shirts. Fire team of 3.
Okay.
A fancy black German car, slightly fancier than the one you've nicked, pulls up to the main gate. The black shirts check and double check the papers at the gate. They wave the car through, the car pulls up. The rest of the soldiers are not patrolling the perimeter of the outside of the compound, just as Nikki's described. There is 1 or 2 guards patrolling around the inner perimeter of the compound, as described. So one heads between the soil heap at the top, heads west, down the west side wall fence, and then back down there, and then back east towards the prisoner barracks, and back again. There is another patrol that goes from the site office around that southeast side of the compound and across the main gate once the car pulls up, and that guard heads towards the barracks. Strangely, the troopers inside the compound are wearing different uniforms than the Italians that could easily be mistaken for the grey Wehrmacht uniforms of the German military. But they all wear bulkier German helmets, augmented with a glowing blue optic over one eye. Oh no. Their breastplates are all a strange, shimmering metal. So they're wearing bulkier armor than the rest. And they have what looks like weirdly augmented the kind of submachine guns. So the Sturmgewehr. It's a slightly strangely modified version. I'm going to spend a threat. A couple of them even hold machine guns, and they're at the catacombs shed that's been pointed out to you. That, strangely enough, is where the guys are all concentrated. That's where the guard is concentrated. And Ward, you get the immediate suspicion that they are not only guarding the prisoners that are there, that are currently in a human chain between the catacombs and you imagine that the line goes much further down from what you can see round towards the dirt pile as they pass buckets to each other and baskets of soil to each other repetitively in a kind of almost like exhausted, like almost deadly motion to each other. You get a sneaking suspicion immediately that the guards are not only there to watch these prisoners, but they have got a kind of facing towards the catacombs themselves, like they're suspicious that something could come out. The workers passing bucketfuls of dirt between the guard at that shed and that kind of barracks next to the barracks are in a bucket chain, depositing it for lorries to take it away. They all appear to be dressed exactly the same, in the grey overalls and the blue vest that you saw on Nicky that he'd hastily tried to disguise, which is kind of unusual for a work crew. As you think back to this morning when you saw the road workers wearing fairly casual work clothing on the street. Periodically, the pile of baskets at the front of the chain near the dirt pile is collected and it's taken back under the hut and down into the catacombs. All in all, it does not look at all like a typical road construction site. Granted, one might be cordoned off to prevent civilians from accidentally wandering into danger, and there has been the occasional anti-fascist sabotage, particularly of like train lines and stuff. But it's usually that kind of thing, communications, train lines, and that kind of infrastructure. There've not really been any road sabotage incidents. And then while an archaeological dig might be fenced off to protect it from curious sightseers and treasure hunters, there's a presence of these strange German troopers that really kind of gets your attention, as well as their inward focus. Outside, out of the fancy German car, as the door is opened, steps out person in a large dark overcoat, and in the moonlit sky, the flash of blonde hair strikes you. On the other side, a smaller man lets himself out, and it's the figure of a short, what seems to be kind of a Buddhist monk, dressed in robes, floor-sweeping violet blue robes. He has olive skin and closely shaven head. The woman in the overcoat steps up to somebody who salutes her. He is wearing he's not wearing a uniform, he's wearing more casual gear, a kind of archetypal archaeologist's workers outfit, but it's a two-piece rather than the overalls of the prisoners. They begin to speak, and it's quite a spicy argument ensues. Sophia, would you like to roll me an insight and observation test, please?
Okay,
Hearing,
insight and observation.
Yeah, hearing would apply. Difficulty is going to be 2.
Hearing and observation. All right, so maybe insight. Just trying to use what I can hear in concert with kind of posture, body language, that sort of thing, to kind of like double check on what German I'm picking up.
Cool. All right.
How much do we have? We have 3. How much do we have so far?
4 momentum, I think, according to the little chat bar.
Right. Do you mind if I use one? Okay, yeah, I'm going to use one of those, and that should be okay. Difficulty?
2.
Difficult 2, and okay, so 3 dice, insight and observation. That I do have the hearing focus, so that'll be 13. I have to hit under. I think that's good. I think that should be enough. All right, let's let it go.
Roll them bones.
All right.
Oh. So that's a crit for the 1. So that's 2 successes. Does the 14 count as well as a success?
14 does not.
Okay. You got the 2 successes you needed.
Okay.
So you hear, you make out odd words in German. You hear caves, you hear serpents, you hear workers, fear, unacceptable. As the 2 have angry exchange. Overlaid on the top of that is the thrum of a diesel generator around the back of the barracks. Which appears to be coming from the building covering the tunnel entrance.
The catacomb shed?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's like a diesel generator just outside that. And the only areas that are particularly lit are just out, like a lamp just outside the site office that's on that south side. There's a light on just outside the barracks too, and there's also a couple of floodlights pointed in towards the catacomb shed.
Okay.
As you're watching this argument ensue, the guards seem distracted. They seem regimentally attentive to the person that is arguing with this archaeologist guy. And that's when one of the workers towards the closer to the dirt pile suddenly throws her basket of soil to the ground and starts running for the gates. All hell breaks loose. And most of the prisoners cheering, the guards yelling at them. The outcome is inevitable. 3 shots ring out into the night from one of the armored up Nazis, and the prisoner falls motionless to the ground. Now, I would like Constance, Elsie, and Sophia to roll will and resilience for me. Difficulty 1.
Okay. Out of interest, Sam, does this count as a new scene from the blood ritual stuff? So when I've lost my stress from that? Cool.
Yep.
Will and resilience.
Great.
I think
any focuses here would be discipline.
I have that. Yay. 13.
Cool. Please.
Those are both successes for me. And I've got a discipline focus.
Okay. Let's.
I'm going to suspend momentum for this.
Okay.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, good.
Whew, good.
Okay, cool. So this is just it's more of a kind of test to see how you guys react. So I'm not going to award any momentum for those rolls, but you guys are all fine. There's a bit of a turn in your stomachs, but you maintain your composure. 2 guards retrieve the body. 2 of the Italian guards retrieve the body and take it to a larger ramshackle building. That's the prisoner dormitory as it's been shown to you. The woman turns around and gets back into her luxury Mercedes, or probably BMW rather, and it reverses and heads out of the compound.
Now, did we get a good enough look at her to recognize her if we do?
I think if you're asking that question, you recognize her immediately.
Yeah.
She's that
So,
lady
yeah,
from the
absolutely.
Catholic scene, isn't she?
She is,
Yeah.
yep.
Damn it. But she's not on site anymore, so that's good.
Yeah.
We know that they've got
She's-
archaeologists showing up.
She's clearly someone very important, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least she'll be gone. At least she'll be off site for a good amount of time, hopefully.
What do you guys like to do?
I don't think we can do this tonight because she's just showed up with an archaeologist.
Mm-hmm.
If we show up sometime tomorrow or tomorrow evening, that would be best because we can actually say maybe we were sent by them. We don't have their names though.
I was gonna say, do we have her name?
We know nothing about her.
Because they looked pretty closely at her papers, and she obviously looks like she's running some of this. So it's gonna be a little hard to.
If you can reason with me, why or how in this instance you could get her name, then I will let you spend a point of momentum, and I will give you her name.
Could Sophia have overheard it?
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe during the argument it was like maybe like a, trying to be apologetic. They used her name to, rank and name to kind of like
would have done
address
it
her.
when they saluted her, right?
Mm-hmm. Multiple times, probably.
Mm-hmm. What's the female version of hair?
Frau.
Frau. Yeah.
Frau. I may have to retcon this a little bit because I'm not sure if she has a rank or not. However, you got a momentum, right?
We've got
Yes.
3 momentum.
Cool. Spend 1 because she is Fraulein Maurer. Maurer. I don't know whether that's Maurer or Mora. Anyone in chat who is a little bit more proficient with German here, please let me know. Yeah. This is my big bad.
She seems really cool.
She seems
It's too cool for this
terrifying.
school.
All I'm going to get now, all next week, is Sam just going.
The DM face.
Desk. I've had this great idea. Yeah, that face, Sam. That face.
Okay. I mean, so you guys, you don't want to do this tonight. You can wait a day. You can have some more observation of the area, because if you really want to stake this place out, you guys have got the opportunity. These buildings are marked for demolition. It's not a problem.
I think we should. I think we need to see if any of these guards actually leave this site.
How
if
much
they bring in new guards, things like that. I mean,
Maybe some of them have got papers, and I'd imagine they'd have to check when you enter. So if we can get some papers, that would be good. Did we buy did we get a forgery kit by any chance? I can't remember
We
what
did.
we.
You did not.
No.
But George has friends here, right? Like there was a contact here. Maybe he knows a guy, or would know where to find someone who could make us stuff like that. If we want to put off this infiltration for a few days, maybe a week or 2.
well, I mean, days can seem like weeks sometimes. So I think definitely we should stake this place out and get as much information on the guard rotation, if new guards come in, if she comes back every day, or if this is like she's an off-site kind of thing and something happened and it drew her back.
That might be good.
I think some observation, and Ward is going to take detailed notes of patrol routes, things like that.
Sophia has a talent where, in a scene, if I spend 2 momentum, we get 3 questions. Obtain information if we want to use that.
So that is the kind of extra question thing. So we have it in Star Trek Adventures, where if you spend a momentum for obtaining information, you get an extra question in total. So not every single time.
Yeah.
But we've tried to word that a bit easier, and also maybe kind of make you commit a little bit more to that in terms of momentum. But yeah, if you spend 2, then you can get 3 questions. I was actually going to be quite charitable though here, and actually just give you guys some more information as the kind of cost of this. And I think I've probably got to figure out more of what the tangible cost is for you guys in character. Is waiting a day and probably a night to get a full rotation of what's going on. I'm going to make notes as I speak as well, because I'll probably think once the cat's moved, because I probably think of ideas as we go. So, in terms of guard rotation, they're on a 3 shift watch. So something like 6 a.m. to what's a good split? Like 4 p.m. 4 p.m. to
So like 10 hours, every 10 hours, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Do they rotate every 8 hours, every 10 hours?
We can say 8.
Yeah. So there's 3 changes a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's the 8 hours. So maths is fun on a Friday night. So from 6 o'clock is the first change you've got of the day, and then if you can work it out from there, 6 to then
that would be 6 to 2.
14 would be 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm. To 10. Yep. That's standard TID for medications. 3 times a day.
Oh, is it? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
I work at a hospital, so yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So that you got your standard rotation there. The perimeter patrol is exactly as described, and they don't deviate from it, as Virginia very carefully noted from reading this campaign book. Probably there is a blind spot.
So you have the only one we have in the office. So
I know, and it's here. And yeah, there is a blind spot between the prisoner barracks and the site office.
Mm-hmm.
The workers, they work into the night. They let them sleep a little bit in the morning, so they only get them up at 8. But they're quickly fed in the actual middle of the compound, this kind of really crappy gruel, and then they're straight to work around 8:45 on average. There's no regimented exact time, but it's whenever they decide to beat people to get them to move and to get them to act. And they work them into the evening, well into the evening, so that by the time it gets dark, like you guys saw, they're still working by the light of the floodlights until about 9-10 o'clock in the evening, until they're exhausted. Okay. They're given a scrap to eat then, and then they're just herded into the prisoner barracks. The archaeologists, prisoners.
Yeah, rough estimate.
15 to 20.
Okay.
Sam.
Mm-hmm.
So while Ward and I guess the other tactically minded people here are taking these observations, Constance's main thing is what's in those catacombs. What are these snakes? Because serpents have got a lot in terms of mythological and kind of esoteric history, in that they range from everything from being terribly evil to being good signs of things. Is she able to make something like a will observation test to try and hone in on that weird feeling that she's probably getting about this? Because I have an instincts focus that says it covers the sixth sense or gut feelings from observations and other extrasensory perceptions that you may not be able to describe the source of. Just what kind of sense, I just want to see what sense she gets from this. Is it the sense of something really awful, or?
Not at street level. If you had not been told about this by Nikki, you would just think this is a really weird dig site, really weird road construction thing that they're taking far too much attention over.
Is that off
But
to her as well?
three-
Actually, doesn't sense anything. Like, would she expect to, judging by what's been described?
There's no expectation here. I think with instincts, it's something a bit deeper. You either just kind of know or you don't. And she's just not getting a sense here right now that anything otherworldly is going on. Serpents obviously have a rich, not obviously because I read it in the campaign book. I didn't know this off the top of my head. But serpents have apparently quite a rich, like mythological thing for Romans. So there's a little bit in the back of your academia, as well as you, Sophia, that just kind of rings true of like that kind of thing. And I honestly, our characters don't know what these kind of myths and stuff are for Romans, but there's a fair amount of serpent symbolism, I'm told.
You mentioned the generator, the diesel generator, like in the catacombs. Does it look like it feeds the rest of the lighting, the rest of the lights, like the floodlights in this small dig site?
Yeah, taking some real time to observe where wires are going and stuff like that. This diesel generator is on the northern side, up and right on this thing. Oh my god, there's a pencil. I put a cross there.
Oh yes, I can see it. It's
cool.
Yeah.
It's behind the catacombs shed, but you can hear its thrum, and then it wires up to like a little wooden pole with one of the metal kind of things on it to fasten the wires to. Extends to the barracks, extends over towards the site office too, and obviously directly feeds into the catacomb shed and the floodlights that are just outside it.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the wires you can see. Having taken some time to observe that during the day.
And all these wires are contained within the fence.
Yeah, there's no other electrical connection that you can see coming from outside or going outside the compound.
That's good. And
do we have from the building that we're in, is there any place in it where we can get a line of sight on that generator?
In the buildings you're in,
Yeah.
That's going to take heading over a few buildings and then trying to get into those.
Oh, okay. Not from the one we're in, though.
Not from the one you're in.
Okay.
How often do we see the guards themselves leave the site completely? I know there's rotations, but do they appear to? Because I imagine we can kind of see down the street and see what's going on.
Yeah. Sorry, you did ask very clearly about that at the beginning.
Yeah.
So,
do any of them go into cafes or bars?
it's only the Italians on the gate post and the guard posts there that actually leave the site. All of the other troopers here with their augments and their weird rifles all stay here and stay in the barracks. The day that you're observing stuff, you don't see any deliveries, rations, or anything like that come to the compound. But Ward, you can only assume that they have a stash of supplies towards like the back of the barracks that they prepare their meals at. But the Italians they don't go into that barracks. They don't have something of their own. They essentially on the rotation, some more black shirts turn up and they're like, ciao, come stai, non shamali, etc. And then just take over. And the other guys just swan off into Rome.
Looks like getting German uniforms is a bit out then.
I mean,
although the other guy that came with her wasn't in a uniform, so we might, if we're just showing up as researchers. I mean, either way, if we get caught, we get in there, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
I mean, yeah.
yeah.
That's one way to look at a silver lining. Yes.
It's the getting back out bit that's
Yeah.
Yeah. Question: we brought explosives, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yes, you did.
Yes. Yeah.
Elsie's got a really nice.
I have this lovely belt.
Yeah.
Matches my handbag.
Like, we have,
Are they,
like,
well, I mean, are they
grenades.
only grenades, or did we? I can't remember if we actually brought like explosives, like demolition.
We're all going about notes before we started tonight, and now I've got to sift through mine because I did write this down.
I
I'm
think
sure.
we just got grenades. I think. I don't think we got
Yeah.
any kit or
I
explosives.
don't think. Yeah. Here we go.
What do I have? What do I have for?
Yeah, you have 2 belts of Mills bombs, which are basically grenades.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I do have
Hmm.
tools. We do have tools.
Because one thing Ward has been watching for is if there is a moment where the guard patrolling inside the gate and the guards patrolling outside the gate get close to near the barracks at the same time, because that's like the focal point of all of the threat. And that's what I'm saying is if we could somehow either, these buildings are old. Are they old, decrepit? I mean, you said they're scheduled for demolition. I don't know. I was thinking if we could pop that nice little corner there from the other side of that building.
Yes, like
Collapse it in and
that way we
get in
could
and
collapse.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
maybe it.
that would be A, the distraction, and B, taking care of a lot of the threat, because then that's when we go on the fence from the south side.
It's okay.
Not to be a rivet counter about this, the Mills bombs you have are a fragmentation grenade.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So there's not so much a fiery explosion as there is a sharp bang shockwave, and it's all the splinter and fragments and stuff that hit people that cause the damage.
I have
So
an idea.
then it's not going to be like we're going to blow up the building. It's going to be there's a massive bang by the fence. The fence probably falls over, and shrapnel goes everywhere.
Okay, we don't have explosive charges, but we do have a car.
Full of gas.
So even if I can raise you one better.
Yeah.
So you said that some of these buildings have already been demolished.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a vehicle capable of doing that somewhere nearby.
Oh.
Let me steal a digger.
Yes.
Yeah, these are
Yes.
meant to be demolished. So if Elsie can get one of those, demolish it, they're going to assume that some idiot construction guy has just decided that today's the day.
Yep.
Elsie does it, demolishes it, does a runner, because no bloke's going to stick around after, no one's going to stick around after something's been demolished and they've realised they fucked up.
Yeah. The troop barracks are so close to that building.
Right there. Just
They're
right there
so
next to
close
that
to that
building.
building.
Such a flaw in planning.
Yes.
Oh.
Elsie, do you want to steal a
We need to
demolition?
steal another. We
I
need
want
to
you
steal
steal a
another
demolition
vehicle.
machine.
I've never wanted anything more in my life than to steal a
So what-
digger.
What are you demolishing? Which part of this? The barracks?
No, we're thinking of demolishing the building north of the barracks.
Onto the barracks.
Onto the
Okay.
barracks.
To the barracks.
It,
Yes.
Like the front side collapses into that, but doesn't destroy the entire thing.
Okay.
Just saying.
I don't know what made me think of
Loyalty.
that. I was just like,
That's a good. It requires us stealing more vehicles, and that's.
I just like seeing
want to
Elsie
steal more
steal
vehicles.
things. Because
Yeah.
it makes, Susie looks so happy whenever she gets to steal vehicles, and I'm
it's
all about
destruction.
empowering that.
And also, we
Destruction.
need to use everybody to their fullest potential,
Mhm.
and Elsie has proven time and again.
Mm-hmm.
That she can steal cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder
That's why
what you were up to
excited
growing
to
up
do
there, Elsie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Like it's
cool.
grim up north. In
I love the plan.
Vancouver.
It's a good plan.
Cool. It's an amazing plan, and we are going to find out how it goes off in 2 weeks' time. We got other people want to get on this and do stuff.
Oh, I know.
So, cool. So let's remember. I'll write on a random bit of paper with more notes that we are at 2 momentum. We're going to go down to 1 in the new scene because you lose 1, and then I am currently on 17 threats.
It's gonna be a lot of threat no matter what. So
Oh God, this plan's gonna go
we're collapsing
flying with
a
all that
building.
threat.
It's going to go brilliantly. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for watching. Guys, we have some XP to give out, to deal out, to vote on who did some cool stuff this session before we wrap up. So any votes on nominations for people doing awesome stuff, and those people get 2 XP.
I'm going to vote for Shauna with Sophia going in and like talking down a really traumatized guy with a knife. Like that was put her gun away and everything with basically no real. I know me and Ward were there, but that wouldn't have done anything if he'd lunged at her. Like she was well out. That was pretty.
That was a beautiful role play moment, and I'm really happy that it wasn't just like
I didn't want to shoot him.
Exactly, and then and
I'm like, I don't want the poor guy. It's not his fault.
Yeah, and a lot of role playing as well. We got weapons, so let's just get the info and kill the guy. It's very D&D kind of thing. But I love the fact that you guys were like, this guy's in freaking trauma. He needs some help. I love that. I love that you really helped him out. That was awesome. Any other nominations for really awesome stuff this session? So Sean, give yourself 2 XP for that.
I think Ward's quick thinking on how to de-escalate that sleight of hand from the lighter.
Yeah.
The shot
You gotta
from the
call
mugging.
out. Yeah.
The shot heard from around the corner.
Mm-hmm. It's a trick shot. It's a trick shot. Sweet trick shot.
Yeah. So give yourself 2 XP for that one.
Yay!
All right. Yay.
Any other heroic moments?
I kind of feel like Elsie should get something for stealing such a beautiful car. Just
I
so
stole your cat, Sam.
Oh.
No.
I do like the escalation. We're getting nicer cars, and maybe next time it'll actually be like a heavy construction vehicle. So I'm
Hey,
doing it.
I actually have a focus in heavy vehicles, so I mean,
Yes.
I don't know what possessed me to be like demolition vehicle, but I'm sitting thinking, how do we this is already part of these buildings have already been bulldozed, right? There's got to be one laying around.
makes sense.
And then I just have the montage in my head of Elsie hot wiring that and just
You will know the signal to go when you hear my cackle from behind the building as I hit the accelerator.
Love it. Prove my cat's not as patient. Cool. All right. Give yourself 2 XP. Boom.
Cool. Sweet.
Alrighty. Most heroic this session?
Sophia, talking down the dude.
yeah.
Cool. Shauna, give yourself 2 more XP. There we go. All right. No one had to invoke a truth to get a fortune point. Interestingly, I didn't feel like I ever needed to award a fortune point this session. I feel like you guys have kind of, though you are really spending them, you guys still have just that one just in case. So it's an interesting thing about, I'm really considering about how quickly they refresh. Might be nice for the GM actually to be the one that always awards them. So you start like I start the adventure with threat. Like every adventure, you start with 3, and then maybe they have to be gained through doing cool stuff or invoking truths or just being awesome and kind of completing stuff. So that's a thought. And then anyone fail when you bought 1 or more bonus D20s? Anyone think about that?
I did, but I spent a fortune point to not fail, so I don't think that counts.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So you did not. I'm not going to have that count at least. And threat spend. I spent very little threat this session. So I don't think any XP.
Next time is going to be just chaos, I can imagine.
How to build tension. Cool. Alrighty then. You guys aren't unfortunately in a position to spend any XP, so we'll leave it there. Awesome. Thank you everybody for watching. Let's go around, have a little chat to people, see what you really liked and what you didn't like. If just thinking again, rules mechanics quickly for me. Let's go around the opposite way this time. How about that? So Shauna, anything you particularly liked or didn't like, maybe about the mechanics, or even if you just want to boost my ego a little bit with the adventure. That's cool too.
I just kind of like the that there is the options to like diffuse things, like the shot and like the talking. There's like it's not straight up like get ready for combat. It's a lot of good skills that kind of keep everything from doing just pure like murder hoboing, which I like. And I think the fortune threat and like the amount like the way we cycled through it, I think was really good tonight. Just kind of like spend a lot of momentum and then just generate a heck of a lot of threats. So yep.
Yeah, true. Cool. Susie, how about you? Anything you liked, didn't like?
One thing I'm really, really growing to like about this is how flexible your skills and abilities are, and how you can really use what your character's strengths are. If you can justify it, you can do it. It's not like, like in D&D, it's like, this is absolutely a perception roll and this is absolutely a survival roll. You could be like, yeah, I can find a way for this to work and for it to make sense with my character. So I really, really like that. Haven't come up against anything this session that I was like, that sucks. So yeah, it's
Cool.
good.
Thanks.
Also, that very nice car with the flappy lass on it. Boost your ego a little bit.
Flappy lass.
Flappy lass.
It's been a long week and I've forgotten what words are.
That's not one of those word of the day.
It's going to go on the word of the day board. Yeah. Cool. Well, V, what about you? Any particular Modiphius insights?
Actually, yeah, a weird, interesting one, because this isn't rules as written, but you've been really flexible in letting us choose kind of sometimes where focus is applied to skills that they're not written in for, because obviously in our other 2D20 games, like Trek, focus is applied to any role that you can justify them for, which is nice. I like the fact that they're set in this game, because I think it does kind of build an idea of what those skills are about and what specifically about those you're good at. But I actually think that we should be including something somewhere that kind of allows you to shift that, because it's things like observation would totally make sense to work with an occultism focus sometimes, because you're naturally going to, if you've got that focus, you're going to be perceptive towards those things, you're going to notice them more. And I wouldn't necessarily say that's academia, because it's not about how much you've studied, it's about your ability to recognize it. And same thing with like linguistics focuses. So while I can't speak Italian, I can speak Latin, and having a linguistics focus makes me feel like, even though I couldn't speak a whole sentence, I should be able to understand how those two are related. So whilst I can't speak every language or understand it all, I should be able to do things like trace a language back to its root language and then figure out how that would have worked.
I really liked the interplay of the different skills and attributes this session. I don't quite know what it was about, and I'm having difficulty thinking back to exactly the things we picked. But it was also equally like the moment that you were like, I want to spend a fortune point to just make this truth happen, that like I know enough to make this work, this Italian and stuff from the Latin I've got, and you backed it up. I really like that. And also, yeah, it is not rules as written, but I love the flexibility of being able, and there are other games that I've played as well which have this kind of specialities or these kind of focuses, that kind of idea, and being able to swap them around and let them apply to other things based exactly on the situation at hand. And also just Ward using fighting for something other than fighting, really enjoyed. So just, that was what was cool for me this time. It tied up very well. Sometimes you can get a bit kind of, it can break your immersion a little bit. You kind of, as the mechanics creep in and they kind of separate you, like you were saying, Susie, about like, this is definitely a thing roll, and you're like, well, it doesn't quite feel right, but just everything tonight, at least for me, seemed to kind of slip into place really easily in terms of skills and attributes and stuff. So that was really fun. Nice. Any critiques? V?
No, I was just going to say, I think with that idea of being able to shift focuses, that should be something that's rules as written, because actually it brings a lot more depth to what those skills are. It's not just you're book smart at this one thing. Actually, you're able to observe those and talk about those with people, and I think that's the big thing with like especially like 2D20 in general, but Acton as well, is that you want it to be pulpy and you want it to be fun. But I think actually that might help with some of that investigative element that I think we've seen that people are kind of interested in. If we can make characters that are a bit more rounded in that sense, that feel like their skills and things overlap, because then you can play out more of that investigation when it's more than just observation based on like instincts or sight or hearing.
Sure.
I also would like to see what happens when scars come up, because actually it feels like they haven't really come up much, and I know that's because we haven't been in tons of combat, but I feel like they should be something that characters either get at character creation, again, to build that kind of more well-rounded character, but also the fact like we've seen some pretty traumatic stuff, like especially through some of those scrying rituals. There's been some really freaky stuff there, and I find it kind of odd that I almost get the idea that with the scar that we should start being affected by this stuff as it goes on, especially people who aren't used to mythos, who aren't used to combat. So like Ward, for example, who's got, you know, this whole thing with magic, this should be kind of freaking him out in more than just a roleplay sense. And likewise, like Constance isn't used to gunfire everywhere, and while she can kind of deal with that a bit, that's not like, that's scarier for her than seeing the cold dark bleakness of the universe, because that's something she's not used to. So it'd be nice to see scars introduced more, because it feels like they're kind of just sitting in the background at the moment.
Sure. It's interesting that the focus has been on scars rather than just truths themselves and character truths. So, for example, you're a British occult bookstore curator, experienced scryer. So that immediately would make me think that you're not necessarily going to be too affected by some of the occult and magical stuff that comes up, but more so by the military horror of war stuff that comes up. Which is why, and it was a little bit in the background, but it was why I only asked for the ladies tonight to roll for that prisoner dying, is that Ward has been in the military and has probably seen similar stuff happen, so didn't need to test that. And I think maybe just that is where we can lean back more on character truths to make things more difficult. Maybe I should just make that more apparent to you guys as I'm doing it, because I am thinking about the characters as I'm thinking about the difficulties. And that's ultimately the thing for GMs. You know, we codify parts of the scene by saying the truths, like it's dark or it's raining, or you have your character truths. I handle that quite fluidly in terms of I think of stuff and I think of what the base difficulty might be, and then I add it all up and kind of just give you the difficulty. I can, if you want, start kind of adding my thinking into it. Might help people watching too, and chat if you're interested, let me know. That I start doing more of that. So I start being like, well, this would have been base difficulty 1. But then because you're British, this is difficulty 2. You can't speak the language, so that's difficulty 2. And, you know, and figure stuff out kind of that way. The experienced scryer should definitely, thanks Will, English nerfed. The experienced scryer on retrospect should definitely reduce the difficulty of your scrying rituals. So that should be difficulty 1.
Sorry.
Just taking more account of that and actually following through with the logic of it, maybe, rather than just going off the bat with it.
I wonder if part of the reason that a lot of us are in between truth and scars, truths at character creation anyway feel almost inherently positive. Like you're not going to initially want to pick a truth that's going to be bad, whereas it feels like truths are the good thing and the bad thing. So I think that makes it difficult, especially with mine. I can think of maybe one thing to go with experienced scryer where I could really push to fail something, and that's to be massively affected by something I see, or to see something without expecting it, because I'm open to those channels. But because they feel inherently positive at character creation, I think it's really hard to find a way to justify that sometimes, because you naturally want to pick things that are good about your character. So I wonder if maybe maybe because scars are just truths, right? They're the
Yeah, they are.
Maybe they are just the same thing, and maybe at character creation we can have some options for some backgrounds gaining scars then, because then I think that that makes it easier for people to get the idea that it's not that one is good and one is bad, because a scar might come in useful in a positive way down the line for some reason. But
I'm going to admit now, I'm not a big Cthulhu player. So for those that are, is that something, at character creation, do you have characters that are a bit broken, have these kind of scars, thematically speaking?
Yeah, I think that'd be interesting. Just have at least maybe one thing that's, that is complication for them, like from the get-go.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, for Cthulhu, it's more of like, if you start, like, at least the way I've played it, like sometimes you can start with a really low sanity. Like I have a character that when he started, he had 49 sanity. So he's already below half. And so he's been through a lot, and so it was more about role playing and just kind of justifying the stats as is, as opposed to like, something to give you like a detriment or whatever. I do like the idea of like, maybe at character creation, if you take on like some scars, like you get some other, I don't want to say benefit, but like an extra point to put in something, or, I don't know, to maybe encourage people to take more scars and you have a more well-rounded character.
Yeah. I'll put that forward because we're talking quite soon about some things we found in beta testing. Thank you to people who have been doing that. So we are starting to think about this actually in the office quite soon. So hopefully there'll be some revisions to the beta fairly soon. But you'll probably see them more reflected in the actual release as well. Prue, I know you're being attacked by a cat, but any hello, any other bits that you really enjoyed, or any other little critiques you wanted to bring up?
I was gonna say I'm really enjoying this like slow build and tension that has kind of come to this moment. We haven't Dee said, we haven't been in a lot of combat, but the war hasn't started yet. But I like this slow reveal of the weirdness of the Nazi soldiers, and now we're kind of built to this. We're looking at an encampment, and we're like trying to figure out how to break in, and it's probably going to end up with a hail of bullets, and some real shit is about to hit the fan. And so I love that. So I like the pacing of it so far, and this slow, inexorable journey that we're taking towards violence. And so so kudos for that, as far as the slow tension that you're building here. So, but as far as mechanics go, I'm really enjoying the system so far. But I think that once we actually get into the shit, I think we'll actually start seeing people tick off their stress tracker, and we'll really get to see put the system through its paces. But as is right now, like I said, I'm just I'm having a blast. So
awesome. It was a really fun session tonight for me, even if it wasn't a proper, kind of run around, do loads of stuff, active kind of thing. I've grown a tail in my head, but yeah, it was just really good fun. Even in the slightly more kind of complicated moments where it was like being chased by the MSBR guys, whatever they're called, and that kind of stuff, and particularly some of the more kind of dusky locations that you guys went to this time. I really enjoyed the scrying ritual thing. You get into a moment of description or role play, just kind of that loop of events. Because again, you play on one of those kind of cool movie tropes where it's like that weird montage of like repetitive stuff. But I wanted that to kind of come across with what was going on for the prisoners there. Oh, yeah, it's feeding time. So that was good fun. I need my goodbyes. I'm lost without my little script. But yeah, so thanks everyone for playing. Let's just very, very quickly whip around and remind people where we can find you on the internet. Prue, where can we find you?
I am Pruitt. I'm one half of WebDM. You can find us on YouTube on Wednesdays where we have DM advice, general role-playing advice videos. Also, we have games Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday on our Twitch channel. And I also play on Encounter Roleplay on Wednesdays during the day. So you can find me anywhere of those or just hit me up on Twitter, jpruing. Can't wait till we get back.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Blow some shit up.
Yeah. V, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me at Twitter at Tabletop Horde. You can also find me running games at the Roleplay Haven, which is a London/Wales-based gaming club, and it's the website is www.rphaven.co.uk. I always get that wrong. You can also find me at Modifius, where I work with Sam. That way. Where I get to do things like help develop games like this, and sometimes
We lost you. Oh no.
you can also find me on Sunday at a time that Sam will say, getting to playtest his new thing, which is awesome. That's about it. That's all I'm doing at the minute.
Cool. Susie, how about yourself?
Hi, I'm Susie, otherwise known as Susanna Grace. You can find me all over the internet at Susanna Grace. On Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you can find me at my Twitch channel, which is Susanna Grace. And Thursday, Friday, you can find me right here on Encounter Roleplay. On Sundays, you can find me on WebDM. But I do have a pinned tweet on my Twitter that has where I am, what I'm doing, and what game I'm playing any given day. So check that out.
Thank you very much. And Shauna, over to you.
Hi, shout out Flying Cirrus on Twitter. I'll put up a pin tweet for all my RPG stuff for this immediate weekend. On Parsec RPG, our Hell's Rebels campaign, my insufferable glamour bard is going to try and lead our party in a masquerade and banquet. So, just have fun.
Amazing. All right, and I am RPG Webby, otherwise known as Sam, and you can find me on the internet at RPG Webby pretty much anywhere. As V said, not only are we playing this on Fridays on Encounter Roleplay, but on my channel, which is /RPG Webby on Twitch, we are testing the Spy game, which is my indie published RPG that's 5th ed, but spies. So modern day antics, action, and espionage. And I'm testing that with a couple of really cool people, and we're going to give it a go pretty much every Sunday until it kickstarts, hopefully soon. But that's it from us. You can always sign up to the beta if you like. Go to modifius.com/AC2D20 beta, and you can sign up to test out the game there. There's some beta rules there for you to grab. I've posted the link in chat too as well. If you've seen something cool about the game that you like, or if you want to let us know about something that you think could be improved, we'd love to hear from you. You can reach me at RPG Webby. You can reach Virginia at Tabletop Horde. Don't forget to tag at Modifius. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening on Encounter Roleplay. Farewell, folks. Lovely people. Bye-bye.
Bye.